Drugs. See your girl in the park. System overload.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full Time MMA. Don't be a bagel biting bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
What is going on, full-time family? It's time to start the show. It is Tuesday, October 16th, and we're going to be talking about some MMA as usual. We got a lot to talk about, and we're actually not going to be talking as much circus today. You know, yesterday we were talking about Mayweather versus Khabib and just a lot of madness, and 50 Cent trying to sign Khabib, but we're actually going to be talking about some legit UFC talk today for the MMA fans out there. So salute to everybody in the chat. Let's give some shout outs to the people that are in the building early. Let's do that. And if we're lagging a little bit, I apologize. I don't know if we are. I'm direct connected, but it says we're on red. So, Pyrotechniques in the building. Lolita Davidich is in the building as well. Let me scroll up because One Way also started the show off saying, hopefully Tony wins and will continue the lineage belt transfer. But if Tony loses, he's going to be the DC of the division. Yeah, that would be crazy, man. I hope that fight gets booked, but that's one of the things we are going to be talking about because Khabib Nurmagomedov seems to have turned down the Conor McGregor rematch already. Now, this is coming from Khabib's uncle, and honestly, just quick take, I think this is just a proud uncle that might not necessarily know what's going on behind the scenes. Now, he might, but I'm just saying, McGregor and Khabib are still suspended for another 8 days, you know, until they can even see when they can come back. So how the hell would they have already offered them Khabib a rematch? You know, so, I mean, and with that being said, also, who really wants to see the rematch immediately? Like, we'll talk about that as well. So Terry Crow says, "Fook Tony." Oh shoot. Blue Dragon says, "Yo, what's going on, Blue Dragon?" Lex in the building says, "If I'm Khabib, I'm asking for 20 million. Yo, 20 mil or better." Khabib's got all the cards right now. But with that being said, his money's still getting played with by the damn commission, still holding up his 2 million. Fuck that. What the fuck's going on with that? Mr. Perfect 2005 says, "That's too much, Lex. They still have to pay Conor, and he'll most likely want more too." Okay. Fortune Osadollar, North Pole calling. Salute to the North Pole. London calling. Stamina MC, what's going on, brother? FTWBK says, "I'm 1% African, so I'm going to start taking full advantage of my black privilege." Hey, man, whatever floats your boat out here. What's going on, AVP? AVP in the building says, "Full time's greater than Ariel Helwani." No, I'm not, man. Ariel Helwani's a motherfucking pro. He's the best at what he does. I'm just a fan like you guys. Connor Lodge says, "What's good, full time?" Not much. What's going on, Connor Lodge? La in the building. He says, "Oh, hell no. Retiring after Tony." Like I said, guys, this is coming from his uncle. Don't take too much in. This could just be a proud uncle, right? Like, if my nephew just whooped Conor McGregor's ass, I'm walking around with my chest out. That's my motherfucking nephew. That's my nephew. No, he ain't fighting him again. 15 million or better. He still don't want to fight that chicken. We showed what we needed to show. Y'all were doubting my motherfucking neck. You know what I'm saying? Because this doesn't really. We've also heard recently Khabib's teammate said before the McGregor fight to Brendan Schaub, Josh Thompson, he said that Khabib was talking about retiring. He didn't want to fight Tony Ferguson after. He said there was no interest in the Tony Ferguson fight and that he wanted to retire after he beat the UFC's poster boy. So there's been a lot of talks of Khabib retiring early, after he wins, after he loses. There's a whole lot of Khabib news out there, and this is just coming from an uncle, right? It's not really coming from his manager or Khabib himself saying, "Yo, I just turned down the McGregor rematch." Because if you're Khabib, why the fuck would you turn down this rematch, dog? It's easy money. Conor McGregor shouldn't want this rematch. This is easy money for Khabib. What you need to do is take time off like Henry Cejudo did, a couple years off, get you a fight with Aldo or fucking Diaz. That's what McGregor needs to do. Fight one or both of those guys. Work on his wrestling in the meantime, in between time. And get your stand-up skills back, because there's no way Conor should have got dropped in that second round. That's still some crazy shit. Dropped his ass in the second round. So why do you want an immediate rematch? Like, immediately, for one, we got to get the card. We're just shaking off the ring rust, man. Let's fight Aldo at lightweight. Let's do Diaz. So I don't want to see that rematch immediately. Anyway. So if he did turn down the rematch, that's understandable. But at the same time, why not just take that free money and put a stamp on the thing? Kind of like TJ Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. TJ Dillashaw took that rematch, the immediate rematch and beat Cody again. And now we ain't nobody talking about a fluke. Ain't nobody talking about him getting dropped in the first round. Nothing like that. And no one's really saying that for Khabib because he really whooped Conor's ass throughout the fight. I mean, aside the third round, but Khabib did fucking great in that fight. So this would be easy money for him, I think. I don't see Conor having much of a chance in the immediate rematch. Remove Lizard said this is now a party. Now that Remove Lizard is here, it's a party. Cam Murphy in the building. What up, full time? Not much. What's going on, system? Mr. Perfect 2005. Stamina MC. Mike Howe. What's going on, Mike Howe? You damn right. Mr. Perfect 2005 says, man, I can't see anybody beating Tony, bro. All around game, 2 on point. Yo, I'm a big fan of fucking Tony Ferguson. Cheeky panel? Fuck yeah, we can do a panel, bro. We'll knock some of this news off, and then we'll get the panel in here for sure. Well, actually, I think, yeah, I'll get through the news quick because my girl's probably got to go to work today, so I'm going to have to get off here probably by, like, in about 2 hours. So I'll go for about an hour of talking about the news, and then we'll get into a panel. Mr. Perfect 2005 says, I can't see anyone beating Tony. Oh, yeah, man. Tony Ferguson, fucking beast. He's back. He looked great against Anthony Pettis. Speaking of, man, we might have to run the Tony time. No, I did want to start the show off with the song, but we're talking to the chat right now, so fuck it. I was going to play that Derrick Lewis, though. I know when we'll do it. We're going to be talking about Derrick Lewis later. We'll run it then. All right, easy money for Khabib, says Lex, I believe. Yeah, man, I agree. So, that was Remove Lizard who says that. So, with that being said, let's talk about a little bit of this MMA news. Salute to everybody in the building. Andreas, Lil, C, and CC Blue, everybody. And if you haven't yet finished biting your bagels, do your boy a favor. Don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Hit that thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. Smash that no, don't smash that thumbs up button. Smash that thumbs up button like Khabib. You have to smash that shit. Let's go, family. All right, speaking of, so let's get into this first news topic. We got Khabib's uncle, Alex. I honestly, I've heard about Khabib's father, a lot of his teammates, a lot of the other Nurmagomedovs, his coach, Javier Mendez. We know his manager, Ali Abdelaziz. Me personally, I've never heard anything from this uncle. But his uncle was coming out saying that Khabib wants Ferguson and then retirement and turned down $15 million for the McGregor rematch. You know what, guys? I'm almost done hearing about this retirement talk. I need to hear from Khabib, bro. When are you getting out of here? We need to know. Because you got Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, McGregor rematch. You got a lot of fights I would love to see while we keep playing with my emotions with this retirement shit. Oh, another thing that I wanted to bring up on this topic. Why the fuck would he turn down this easy money $15 million, right? Like, for legacy? Like, he's been talking about smacking Brock Lesnar down in the WWE. He's been talking about boxing Floyd Mayweather. Khabib clearly wants some money. If he was just worried about Ferguson retirement legacy, he wouldn't be talking about smacking the head off of the WWE and jumping into that cage, and he wouldn't be talking about boxing Floyd Mayweather. So Khabib, just like all of us, man, wants some motherfucking money. Regardless, that shit is useful. I get it, Khabib's undisputed, humble champion. But once you get to talking about going to the WWE and boxing Floyd Mayweather, you want some money, dog. That ain't got nothing to do with legacy because you ain't outboxing Mayweather. And I don't know what you'll do whatever happens in the WWE happens, dog. So I think Khabib and he just also keep in mind he just made $2 million for his fight with McGregor. And that's not counting pay-per-view points. So I don't know how much that's going to come out to be, but you also have to wonder, is he saying $15 million flat and pay-per-view points? You know, that'd be a little ridiculous, pricing yourself out of the game. Like, no, I'd rather fight Tony Ferguson. But I will say this, man. Hopefully there's a little truth to this because I do want to see him fight Tony Ferguson next. I'm not super interested in Conor McGregor versus Khabib, the rematch immediately. The retirement talk is to get more zeros, says MMA Addict. Maybe a little leverage, eh? Little leverage. There's a lot of people that do that, right? They flirt with retirement. They give you retirement dates, and then they come back. A lot of people come back, and then there's a lot of fighters even now. Daniel Cormier, I'm probably going to retire by my 40th birthday. But the way we're looking at this timeline, dog, you're probably going to have to fight at least one more time after that against Jon Jones. You know what I'm saying? Fuck what you talking about. We got Brock Lesnar, we got Jon Jones. You can't fight them both before your birthday. So we're going to need one more fight. People are probably going to start I think I might be, I don't know how to say ahead of the train, but I think Kevin Lee is a little underrated at this point. I don't know if it's because he's did a fucking chicken dance like a lot of people have. You know, a lot of people have been rocked and recovered, and it went viral, I guess. But Kevin Lee gets a lot of shit. Yeah, I will say his chin is somewhat questionable because we have seen him not only rock, but he's been knocked out before to where he didn't recover. And so, yeah, that's a legit concern. But that's pretty much a legit concern for anybody. And by the way, people were just questioning Khabib's chin before his last fight with McGregor. You know? And so there's something to that as well. And with that being said, Kevin Lee's very fucking well-rounded. He's and oh, by the way, he's also on Khabib's heels. He's been calling Khabib out before that shit was cool. He's been calling Khabib out before the shit made sense. And he's continued to call Khabib out. He just finished Edson Barboza, somebody that Khabib fought, and now he's about to fight Iaquinta. He is on Khabib's heels. So, I don't want Khabib to fucking retire before we potentially get to see that fight. That would be crazy. But, I mean, that's a fight that might not happen. Khabib could retire. We might never get to see that fight. It might not come to fruition. Or, shit, Kevin Lee could lose before then. He's fighting Al Iaquinta. Al Iaquinta, he can definitely knock you out. We've seen pretty nasty knockout. It was Diego Sanchez, right? He knocked him out in the first round and fucking... that shit was nasty. So he's got some power. He can knock you out, and he could definitely catch Kevin Lee at the end of this year when they fight. So a lot of fun shit coming up, though. If Khabib doesn't retire, hopefully we get to see this Ferguson fight. But also, shit, that might be a fight we got to put Kevin Lee on the co-main event, right? Just in case one of these motherfuckers fall out the fight. This fight has been booked 4 times, and we've never got to see it. Khabib pulled out twice. Ferguson pulled out twice. This shit is cursed. By the way, the last time this fight was fucking canceled, it was on April Fools. It was on April Fools. You can't make this shit up. 4th time. This shit's crazy, dog. Well, let's see exactly what Khabib's uncle had to say, man. He said, from the start, they offered him $15 million if he agrees, Alex Nurmagomedov told Sports Express. But Khabib said no. Let Conor stand in line. Let him fight with others. Khabib wants to fight Ferguson and finish his career. Now, I also see, maybe he ain't spoke with Khabib in a while, because this was something Khabib was saying, remember? maybe this is an uncle that ain't, you know, he's on the outside, so he ain't got to hear from Khabib for a while, because Khabib did say this in the past, but this was before you guys remember. Some of you might. Khabib did say this in the past. He was like, yo, whenever I win the belt, I'm going to humble him. I'm not going to fight McGregor. I'm going to fight the next champion. I might fight Poirier or Ferguson. I'm not going to give Conor an immediate title defense. And he got the immediate title defense. So it sounded good, but we seen that we ultimately, Khabib didn't humble McGregor in that way. Now, he humbled him in the fight, you can say, when he smashed him and made him tap, but he gave him that first title defense, though. Money talked. Money sure was talking. It wasn't about showing Conor McGregor a lesson and teaching him a lesson and fighting the real #1 contender. No. It was smash this boy. Yo, who's biting bagels? Punch that like button, says Jon Doe. You don't know what the real grind's like. You don't know what the trials and tribulations I've been through in my life. Listen to Colby Covington. You don't know what the real grind's like. You better listen to Covington, guys. At least smash that like button. With that being said, man, yeah. So Khabib has said that in the past. This is just somebody else that's... This is, you know what I'm saying? I'm not putting too much stock into what this dude is saying. And by the way, why would we do know McGregor wants the immediate rematch, but do you think the UFC's already fucking got a contract for a fight date? Like, what date? Like, January? They coming right back for this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, right back? Like, they're already offering Khabib $15 million. We ain't even found out what's going on with his $2 million purse. We ain't even found out if his boy's getting fired yet, where he said he's going to rip up his contract. So there's so much going on. I'm not really going to put too much stock into what his uncle's saying here, but we'll move on from the show. But that's the word on the street, that Khabib's turning down $15 million McGregor rematches out here. You know, maybe he'll turn down $15 million from McGregor and go take $50 million from fucking Floyd, you know what I'm saying? Or $20 million from smacking up Lesnar or something. But he's under contract with the UFC and all of that, so they would have to be in on that deal as well. So, but thank you again very much for that super chat, brother. Much appreciated, Jon Doe. One way says Al Iaquinta deserves a rematch. He trained for 3 rounds against a striker he had to take. You talking about a rematch for the title? Yo, these motherfuckers get me with this Al Iaquinta. Somebody said, yo, McGregor should fight Iaquinta next. And now someone's like, yo, give Iaquinta a rematch for the title. It's like, my nigga has been ranked no higher than 7th. I don't know if at any point in his career. Like, yeah, respect for taking that short notice fight, but you know he got paid for it, right? You know he got compensated pretty well for that. He even said a couple weeks prior, you see what Khabib's doing to dudes? I wouldn't fucking, I wish I had that on a loop. Not a loop, but I wish I could cue that up. You see what Khabib's doing to dudes? I'm not fucking fighting that guy. You'd have to pay me like $2 million to fight that guy. And then like fast forward 2 weeks later, he gets the call up. Yo, we need someone to fucking fight Khabib. You know where he stands. And you know he's got the real estate gig. He don't... Bro, I don't know how much went on the books, but I'm telling you, Iaquinta got cashed out for that fight, bro. Because you know how he's already coming. He already comes like, I'm a real estate agent. I don't need this shit. I fight when I fight, and I fight, you know, what makes sense. I'm not sucking on the teat. I don't need this shit. So, now you want me to fight Khabib? This motherfucker that's smashing, mauling guys on short notice? Whole different style? You want me to go in there with that monster on short notice? Main event? You need me to save the main event, huh? I got your back. I got your back. 2 motherfucking million. I don't know how much he got, but I'm just saying. I would have. He got some cash, dog. One way says, after Tony, Iaquinta deserves a rematch if he beats his opponent. Iaquinta's fighting Kevin Lee. Now, if he beats Kevin Lee, he's up there. He's in the top. He's already beat Kevin Lee in the past. We'll see if he can beat him in this rematch. If he can, that'll be very impressive, and he'll be making his case. But still, there's a lot of guys in that top 5. Dustin Poirier. What about Dustin Poirier? I can't really see Iaquinta skipping a Dustin Poirier right now. You got Tony Ferguson. Can you see Iaquinta skipping either one of those guys for a title shot? You know, even if you beat Kevin Lee, you might have to beat one of those guys before you get another title shot. But he can work his way up there. So, yeah, there's Khabib's uncle. Let's move to the next topic. We got Conor McGregor's coach saying Conor will require a nightmarish training camp for a rematch with Khabib. Now, for an immediate rematch with Khabib, he's going to need a nightmarish training camp and a motherfucking miracle. And that nightmarish training camp is going to have to take place at, like, fucking American Top Team. There ain't no nightmare that Artem Lobov and Paddy O'Houlihan, or who else is over there? What's that dude? James Gallagher. There ain't no nightmarish training camp that they can give Conor McGregor for Khabib. When Khabib is over here wrestling light heavyweight and middleweight champions and Luke Rockhold, Daniel Cormier, just other straight killers at AKA like fucking Cain Velasquez, Arjan Bular. I mean, there's a lot of guys that come to mind when you think AKA, and just one of the best camps as far as wrestling is concerned. And it's crazy. They're the American Kickboxing Academy, but they have a lot of the best fucking wrestlers in the world, which just makes for a perfect fucking match. You got the wrestling on deck, and we're going to teach you the kickboxing you need to put you in the game. So now you got the wrestling, we got the kickboxing, and we got world champions. Meanwhile, Conor's over here beating the fuck out of Artem Lobov, beating the fuck out of James Gallagher, I would hope. Right? Who's giving him real work? You're bringing people in, but you're too loyal to a point. We talked about this on the panel, and Kay Murphy talked about that as well. She's Irish. She's saying maybe he needs to move camps. And if Kavanaugh wants to say he's going to need a nightmarish camp, I'll take it one step further. He does. I agree. But he needs a nightmarish camp at a fucking top-level gym. Kavanaugh did his thing, man. We're not going to call him the Edmund Targaryen yet of you know, whatever. But he does only have really like 1-star pupil over there at SBG, so that loyalty can be holding you back. So, yeah, it's going to take a nightmarish training camp, but you better go get some work at American Top Team. And, oh, by the way, it's still going to be tough if you want an immediate rematch. You might need to go through a nightmarish camp at ATT, fight Aldo, go through another nightmarish camp at AT&T, fight Diaz, and then go through a motherfucking night. I'm talking about a fucking night beyond a nightmare. I'm talking about a horror show. I'm talking about shit that makes you rethink fighting. That's the camp you need when you go back into this Khabib rematch. You need to fucking think, God, should I even be... I don't even think someone with $100 million can go through the camp it's going to be necessary to close this gap, guys. It's going to be tough. Now, maybe there's something to the layoff, the 2-year layoff. Conor's going to have to really get hungry, but it's not going to be an immediate rematch. And if he's got money that's still coming in from the suit collections and the whiskey business, and he's still got Mayweather money, and he just got $50 more million off Khabib, I don't know how fucking hungry you can get with that. You know, I don't know how hungry. I might have to go downstairs and shut my door in a second, guys. I hear some arguing going on downstairs. That's not for live. That's too real for the live stream. My roommate's down there. But yeah, it's gonna take some serious shit, man, and it's gonna take a lot more than head movement, as my boy AVP is saying. Head movement. Conor gets dropped. Yeah, that's funny. John K has a bunch of fighters in the UFC. He is a smart coach. No, he is a very smart coach, and he, a good book. You win or you learn. I like a lot of what he does. But as far as his fighters in the UFC, he's got fighters in Bellator. Shit, I think he's probably got fighters in. There's another one over there with Bama or something. He's got some fighters over in Bama too, I believe. He's got some fighters, but are there really anybody that's UFC caliber as far as top contenders? I don't think he's had anybody crack aside from Gunnar Nelson, but was he even top 5 welterweight? I mean, Gunnar Nelson trained with him a little, but I don't even think he doesn't train at SBG full time, though. You know what I'm saying? But either way, aside from Gunnar Nelson, and I don't even know if he cracked top 5. I don't know if John Kavanagh or SBG has produced really. Clearly, they haven't produced as many champions as some of these other more established gyms. But top 5 contenders. What about top 5 contenders? It's just, even if you got one guy in the UFC, you're not training with, it's not the same level, man. Kavanagh's a smart guy. Conor's a great fighter. Artem's in the UFC. He's the GOAT. He's spec'd, fucking, for sure. Gunner. But it's another level out here, man. When we're talking about the AKAs and the the ATTs, like those, to me, those are 2 of the top gyms. You got Elevation coming up in Denver, right? The Elevation Fight Team, Duke Rufus Sport. They got some legit UFC guys, but not necessarily even like the championship caliber. But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. But either way, I still am under the mindset that McGregor, if he wants to compete with Khabib, he'll probably need a nightmarish training camp at a different, he might need to mix it up. Maybe he's loyal to a fault at this point. I drink proper 12 all day, says FTWBK. Man, good luck with that shit. I'm done with that for a while. I finished my bottles, UFC 229, Bellator 208. I'm done drinking for a while. I mean, at least that's what I'm saying right now. No, but I do plan on it. John Doe says SBG still new in this sport, kind of. They're growing still. Yeah, they're growing. They got, but if Conor McGregor came into an immediate rematch and got smashed by fucking Khabib again and went to the WWE, they would be looking real similar over, because Edmund, he had some UFC fighters, right? He had Travis Brown. Like, he had some fighters. But, who's really, like, the top dogs? They ain't really coming out of those gyms. But yeah, they're still babies, and they're getting a lot of shine. They got a lot of fighters that are training with them. They got a lot of money to, fund one of the best training camps coming up. So I think SBG is going to be a staple. I don't think they're going to necessarily. I don't think, and I hope. And actually, yeah, I just don't compare Kavanaugh to fucking Edmund. That's a little crazy at this point. But yeah, man. I think they're going to come up. I think they're on the up and up, though. Regardless, they're still babies, and I think they're on the up and up. But with that being said, as of right now, where they're at right now, I don't think they got enough for McGregor to beat Khabib. I think he's going to have to, maybe even just for a fucking week. You know what I'm saying? Or not a week. You need to go out for longer than a goddamn week. For one camp, bro. Like I get you're loyal and shit like that, but it ain't gonna hurt to get some new training partners, and get some people that can actually beat you, like in your training camp. Like that Ian, he's like, boom. I got a perfect example for you. Bellator 208 just took place over the weekend, and 207. On that card, I think 207, Lorenz Larkin fought Ian Pascu. You know who Ian Pascu is? That's a guy he was like a pretty big underdog coming into that fight. Actually, like a fucking, he was like a 5-1 underdog against Lorenz Larkin. But that's who McGregor was sparring with for the Khabib fight. McGregor had that injury or whatever. It looked like a hole or something on his finger, and he said it came from sparring that Ian Pascu dude with no gum shield. So, you know, and maybe it's just because he's a big body, and you know, but you're in here sparring this motherfucker with no mouth guard. Like, this dude's not UFC caliber. He's barely Bellator caliber. But, I mean, he's a big body. So, you know, you're sparring dudes like that ahead of your Khabib fight with no mouth guard. It's just not the top level when you think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see Conor rush this shit. And I don't think I'm the only one. I know there's a lot of you guys that share that sentiment. And not only, you know, also Joe Rogan, he recently said it on his podcast. I don't want to see Khabib versus McGregor next. He said there's all this talk of a Conor rematch because financially that would be a fantastic fight. Financially. But if you look what happened, that was a dominant victory. There was one round where Conor did pretty good, the third round. Other than that, Khabib just sort of dominated him. I mean, he dropped him in the second, beat the fucking shit out of him in the fourth. The third was a round where Conor did pretty good because most of it was standing up. He said, I guess you could say it's the same thing that sort of happened in the Diaz fight when Conor came back around and won the rematch. So this is the argument. The argument is Conor was rusty. He's out of the cage for 2 years. He gets back in. Let's do a rematch. Then financially, Jesus Christ, it was the biggest UFC fight of all time. They're saying it was above 2.4 million pay-per-view buys, which is fucking bananas. That's huge. And oh, by the way, add that on to the fact with that now in the rematch, you already had the fucking dolly footage. You already had, you know, that sold this fight kind of. That made this fight so fucking big. They really wanted to smash each other. Like, it was deeper than rap. This was more than just a fucking fight. There was a lot on the line here. McGregor said this shit's never going to be over. Even after this fight, it's not going to be over. You know, he let you know this shit isn't over. So Khabib wins. Now we got the brawl. Oh, my Lord. Could you imagine all of that selling one goddamn fight? That's 3 million. We're talking a lot of, we're talking breaking this buy record. But I don't know about immediately. Like, the only thing you can say is, well, McGregor was away for 2 years. But, boy, it looked like he had only been fighting for 2 years in there against Khabib, dog. I'm just saying, Khabib put a whooping on him in there, man. Khabib put a good whooping in there on McGregor. Hey, guys, this is what we're about to do. I'm about to play a song, guys. I'm about to shut this door downstairs because they're getting loud. And that is not for the live stream. You guys don't need to hear people arguing, my roommates. So I'll be right back, guys. When I get back, I'll continue my conversation. In the meantime, in between time, we're about to be talking about Poirier and Diaz after this. So we're right. We'll play this. BRB, guys. First off, fuck Nate Diaz and fuck you, Nate. East side, when we ride, come equipped to bang. You claim to be a fighter, but don't fucking fight. You puff on fat joints, sit and stuff your pipe. I'm an American top team, training hard as shit. Nathan Diaz and the scrap pack are some mark-ass bitches. I'm throwing punches up in bunches at your grill. Keep them coming, cause I'm gunning for the kill. You know the deal. Nate Diaz, where's your girl? I heard you beat her. Maybe you're fighting her cause you can't buy a win in the UFC. And Gilbert Melendez currently riding a 4-fight losing streak. Y'all got Cesar Gracie fight team in these streets looking weak. I let you niggas know that it's beef for life. Then let the east side ride tonight. Scrap pack murdered on wax deceased. Fuck with me and get your ass beat. Grab your Glocks when you see the diamond. Call your squad when you see the diamond. When I rock you, bitch, I'm coming for the finish. UFC 230, Nate Diaz gon' get it. Nigga, I hit him up. Get out the way, yo, get out the way, yo. Dustin Poirier's nuts just dropped, yo. You got the fucking nerve to talk about my brother and his girl. So at UFC 230, I'ma fuck up your whole world. Is it Poirier or Poirier? Cause I ain't never heard of ya. Chokes and slap attacks when I'm serving ya. It's Nate, it ain't Gaethje. No, you can't break me. I broke Michael Johnson and he had your face aching. And I broke McGregor, they both almost knocked your head off. The only way that you can fuck with me is if I fell off. And if I was baked, but since that ain't the case, at UFC 230, bitch, I'm Stockton slapping your face. I hit him up. Take money. Hey, full-time family, we are back. The door is shut. We should be good for the rest of the stream. Whew, man. With that being said, where were we, full-time family? No. Oh, yeah, here we were. We were talking about the rematch of McGregor and Khabib and how it just doesn't make sense right now, but it would be a huge fight. I mean, but I just don't think that was just ring rust. It might have had to do with hunger. It could have had a lot to do with it, but McGregor said he led us to believe that I believe the only reason he was coming back, it's not even just he led us to believe. He was hungry or he wouldn't have fucking came back. He didn't need the money when he came back to fight McGregor. It wasn't for the money, or when he came back to fight Khabib. So, I mean, I don't know. I think if the rematch happens, it'll probably sell, but I think it'd be better if Conor could come back and get a win or two before he fights him. So, with that being said, let's pull up the chat, chop it up with the family for a second before we move on to the next topic. Drama mode says Poetic Gangster. Yo, downstairs. I mean, not up here. We're good. It's all B's. Says get the foco. Conor's one tap away from the WWE. Says it's all BS. I don't know, man. I don't think so. I don't think Conor McGregor is Ronda Rousey out here. Now, if he fights Khabib in an immediate rematch, he could look like Ronda Rousey. But if he fights Aldo at lightweight, if he fucking fights Diaz, I don't think he comes out here and gets smashed like he would against Khabib in a rematch. I think if Conor comes back and gets a win, he's good. You know, he's not no fucking Ronda Rousey. He's not a bust. He's not a hype job. None of that shit. If he can come back and get a win. Now, Ronda Rousey couldn't do that. Not when you're trying to fight Amanda Nunes. That's just a different level. But that's what would happen, I believe, if Conor came back and fought Khabib. It would look like Ronda Rousey coming back and fighting Nunes. You don't got much of a fucking chance, and you're going to look bad in the rematch, and you're going to look terrible. But if you take some time off, get the ring rust under you, fight Aldo, fight Diaz, and then come back. And if you can win those fights, dog, now we're talking. But with that being said, they might have someone tied up in the back room says giving sure name. No. That was a long time ago, man, and that was crazy. RJ's Gaming Channel says fire. Yo, that motherfucking hit him up. Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. Too bad that fight's canceled, man. That was gonna be a crazy fucking scrap. The haters are hilarious, says John Doe. Conor's one tap from another 40 million, says John Doe. Yo, that's what I'm saying. He comes back and gets a win. All of that shit is over. I mean, there is something to be said about having $100 million and being away for 2 years. There's definitely something to be said about that. That's why I think I would even look at the rematch differently if Conor came back and got a fucking win or two in the meantime. But an immediate rematch, no. You have no chance. Now, shit. If Conor got another fight, what if Conor came out and looked like he did in that third round from the beginning? You know, if he was on fire. What if he looked like he did? What if he looked good like that from the fucking beginning? That would have been a whole different story. But there's something to be said about him being away for 2 years and making all of that money. And so with that being said, yeah, he might have a chance against Khabib eventually, just not immediately. It's all BS, says, yo, to tap out SMFH John Doe, I can't stand fanboys, so we even, fam. Power Technique says, all I know is we need to see Khabib versus Tony before Khabib goes into hibernation mode, also known as Ramadan. No, that's funny, hibernation mode. It's all BS. I'm not hating. I'm stating facts and not deriding like you, John Doe. Okay. All right. So a few more things to talk about because I want to make sure we get time for a panel on here. So Khabib has came out and spoke with the media, and now he's saying, you know, he's turning into a little bit of a conspiracy theorist out here. He's believing that the UFC might have staged the McGregor bus attack. And I'll say this: I did see a post on Reddit, and somebody like pointed some crazy shit out. And honestly, after this shit happened, if you like watch any of the mainstream sports shows, like, you know, on ESPN, Fox Sports, like the casual MMA fans, but they covered that because it was so huge, the Dolly attack. They were talking about this like it was some WWE Vince McMahon shit. You know, a lot of them were skeptical also. So there were a lot of people that were skeptical about this whole bus attack and Conor throwing the Dolly. But I gotta say this, man, that would be fucking crazy, dude. You think the UFC would fucking possibly, you realize fighters got hurt like that, and when he threw that Dolly, there's no way they okayed that. He fucking, that Dolly is, for one, it's a fucking Dolly, and if it hits somebody, they're probably injured severely. Luckily that window blocked it, but even then you had fighters who got cut. Bray Borg's cornea was scratched. Michael Chiesa had a little bit of a cut. Rose Namajunas still, I don't know where she's at still. She's still only going to and from the gym. You know what I'm saying, from that incident. So the UFC, like, to stage something like that, that's putting a lot of fighters and innocent people at fucking risk. You know what I'm saying? And so that seems a little fucking crazy to me, but there are a lot of people, you know, that believe that. And what Khabib is saying is, he's like, yo, the UFC, normally I got my road dogs with me. Normally I got like fucking 10 people riding with me, you know, 15 people with me. And on this day, they tell me only bring 2 people. And this just so happens to be when we get fucking ambushed by 20 of Conor McGregor's goons. The day the UFC tells me not to bring my boys. Because they know if I bring my boys and these motherfuckers show up, it's on like Donkey Kong. We got our own bus. And you don't want to know what we keep under the seats in our bus. They knew not to let us bring the motherfucking Khabib bus. So they have me only bring 2 fighters. I'm fucking on this fighter bus. I ain't got my guys with me. And here come this Dolly throwing fucking jacked up on Mountain Dew fucking Conor McGregor like a fucking madman. And he's got 15 people with him. Khabib feels like that shit was a setup, dog. He's like, man, in my opinion, 70% of it was set up. He says, Conor wasn't part of that media day. They should have informed the arena security that 20 to 30 men had just entered the building. They didn't say anything. Instead, they led them to our bus. And that's something on the Reddit post that they pointed out. Like, this motherfucker did his research. I wanted to look for it so I could show you guys it, but I couldn't find it. And it's funny because it got taken down originally. And it was because people were reporting it, even though this motherfucker did some research. So it got taken down, and people were like, what the fuck? Like, but it got put back up, but I still couldn't find it. So, but he had like a clip from the security footage of the chick that let McGregor's crew in, and she wasn't part of the Mac life. The chick that was guiding McGregor's crew to the elevator was a UFC employee. So this dude figured that out and shit like that. So that's a whole weird situation. By the way, I've pointed this out in the past. We haven't heard about no repercussions to the Mac Life crew. You know, we haven't heard about any of them damn reporters or anybody getting fucking losing their media pass. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, we haven't heard about nobody losing a media pass, nothing like that for letting these motherfuckers in the back door when McGregor threw that Dolly. So that was kind of interesting too. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that believe it could have been set up, but even if it was, even if they did let McGregor in, which that would be fucking, that's a thing in its own, because, and like he said, why didn't they let security know, right? They could have said it on the walkie-talkie. Hey, yo, McGregor and fucking 20 goons are running through the hallway. Fucking, get that bus out of here. Something. Where's Khabib? Something. That shit should have been on the walkie-talkies. You know what I'm saying? They got communication. They should. 10-4, Conor McGregor. He seems pretty pissed off. Yeah, he's running. He's jumping and screaming. Fuck Khabib. Fuck the other side. He seems pretty pissed off. He's on the elevator now. He probably got about 15 minutes to get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, it's radio silent. You can hear fucking mouse piss on cotton on the walkie-talkie. Meanwhile, Conor McGregor's in the elevator. Let's fucking go! Like, they know he's amped up. They know he's pissed off. You guys ready to fucking get that bastard Khabib? They know what's coming. Radio silent on the fucking walkie-talkie. You know, you probably got music playing on the bus, like you could elevator music on the bus or something. Like, dude, they're just listening to a song, waiting on the bus to pull out. Then all of a sudden, here comes fucking McGregor. No word from the walkie-talkie, no warning from the security. You got these madmen running through the fucking hallways on the elevator. You know, you had time for these motherfuckers to ride that elevator, dog. They had to wait for the doors to close, press the button. All right. You know, that had to be a weird-ass elevator ride. You got like 15 people all hyped up, just all squished into the elevator, dog. So, yeah, weird situation how that all played out. Not really any punishments to the Mac Life crew who we heard were responsible for it. And also, if you fucking look into it, like the motherfucker on Reddit, then come to find out, there might have actually been a part of the UFC staff who might have fucking ushered McGregor the right way. Like, yo, Khabib's over there. Get his ass, Conor. I don't like that shit he did to Artem either. Artem's my boy, bro. That's the GOAT. Get his ass, Conor. You know what I'm saying? They were in on it. I don't know. That's what Khabib believes. He said if you watch the footage, you can see the bus almost gets to the gate, and then suddenly it stops and pulls back. He says, why? If you see some people are attacking a bus, you should keep moving and get outside from the parking lot. But you stop and pull back. Why? Anybody who thinks this is staged, this is what Dana White said. Anyone who thinks this is staged is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. How did we stage this? How the fuck could we possibly have staged this? This is real bullshit or something like that. But he said that before Khabib said this shit. And it's funny because now Khabib's out here like, yo, maybe these motherfuckers staged it. And Dana White's like, you're the stupidest motherfucker on earth. Anybody that thinks this shit was staged is stupid as fucking... And it's like, I hear where Dana White's coming from, because to think that the UFC would stage, like, putting innocent people at risk, that'd be a little fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, as someone that grew up watching the WWE, I remember all type of crazy shit they clearly fucking staged. I didn't know it was staged at the time, but they was throwing motherfuckers off of 10 feet, 16 feet in the air. I still don't know how do you fake that? Like, how do you fake that, by the way? Getting thrown off the goddamn Hell in a Cell onto a table. What is that, a cushion down there? How do you fake that? But they did all type of crazy shit. They fucking busted windows. They ran motherfuckers' heads in. Like, I'm just saying, they staged some crazy shit. And so if you wanted to take a play out of the WWE's books, you might be able to stage some crazy shit like that. Now, the shitty part is that all these fucking fighters were injured, but it turns out actually none of the injuries were severe, and that's what you're thankful for, right? Because Chiesa, he had a little, he was bleeding a little bit on his head, but nothing crazy. His fight got rebooked a couple months later, and then Ray Borg, his cornea was scratched, but not very severe. He was booked like a month later. Now Rose Namajunas, that's probably the most severe thing that came out of it, because she seems to have PTSD. She's still traumatized from that whole event, and so that's one of the biggest deals coming out of this. But still, to think the UFC would inflict that upon innocent fighters, I think that's a little asinine, guys. One Way says Ilir Latifi versus Gustafsson is the match to be made. Ilir Latifi versus Gustafsson, they're teammates. I don't believe they will fight. It's Gustafsson, Latifi, and Manawa, I believe. Those guys are teammates. I don't think they'll fight, but I agree. I would have loved to see Latifi versus Gustafsson, but I'm pretty sure they won't fight each other. So, with that being said, Khabib, he says, that's all Khabib had to say earlier. But yeah, Khabib, he's kind of opening up to the idea that, he's thinking about how the shit played out. Like, they might have fucking set me up. But either way, shit, Khabib, you might want to send him a thank you card now. Hey, UFC, thanks for fucking setting me up, because it allowed this motherfucker to come back and get smashed, and we sold the most pay-per-views in history, and now Khabib's bigger than he's ever been, and he holds all the cards. He holds all the cards. He's got the power McGregor had. He's the one getting talked about smacking up Lesnar and fucking fighting Mayweather and holding out, because he's the champion, undefeated, undisputed. He's got all the power. So regardless of how this week got here today, Khabib should be thankful. Thank Allah. You know what I'm saying? Forward says Cerrone, Perry. Yo, let's go. But we still haven't got an update on. Man, I'm telling you guys, I hope it's still on his Instagram. Donald Cerrone posted a picture, and he was injured, and that fight's coming up soon. Donald Cerrone Unless he's in another goddamn movie in his fight camp. Donald Cerrone Instagram. I'm telling you, man, he posted a picture not too long ago and he was in a goddamn cast. Oh, he took it off his Insta. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So, and with this emoji, with that emoji, that's a oh shit emoji. That's a I might have fucking shit ruined my fight emoji. This was in his fight camp, you guys. This picture. That would be crazy. Holy shit, we got $4.99 in the super chat. Fat dab for everyone. Cheers, $4.99. Yo, much appreciated, John Doe. Thank you very much for that $4.99 in the super chat. I'll dab with you, but it's sober 2018 for me, so I gotta dab like that. But with that being said, yo, this emoji, dog. You can't give me that emoji, bro. Fucking, and you're supposed to be in a fight camp for Mike Perry. You got a cast on this hand. You got your fucking right eye closed. So this ain't like you just got, you know what I'm saying? You got your fucking left arm in a cast and your right eye is swollen. That's that's both sides, bro. What the fuck? What happened? Was this an ATV accident? What are we doing? I believe that I thought the fight was in jeopardy when I saw this, especially with that emoji, dog. Unless he's in like a fight camp or something, who knows? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know why that $4.99 didn't play anything. It should have made a sound whenever you put that $4.99 in the super chat. For some reason, it didn't work. I'll have to try and fix that. But the other one worked. The Kobe Covington one worked, so that's weird. Oh, and if that's the help the bear when I'm pissed off, that should have for sure worked. But thank you again for that $4.99 in the super chat. So with that being said, Cerrone, I seen this. Now let's see how he's looking since then. He's out. Well, that ain't Cerrone. Who the fuck is this? Is that Donald Cerrone? I don't think that is. Not this same Cerrone. All right, so got his baby. I'm trying to see how he's looking training wise with that injury and shit. Maybe he's good, man. I don't know, but that shit's still a little iffy for me. That injury is a little iffy for me. So yeah, but Cerrone Perry's gonna be a barn burner if it still happens. But that's what that made me think of. So with that being said, real quick, we got? Oh yeah, Khabib after post fight, he was caught on video calling Conor McGregor a tap machine. He was saying shit like, he says, "I told you guys Conor's a tap machine. He cannot fight for 5 rounds." And yeah, man, you know, Khabib was vindicated after that. Everything he was saying, he said this man's a tap machine. He made him fucking tap. But the thing is, a lot of that was overshadowed because that motherfucking brawl. Khabib overshadowed a lot of his victory and a lot of his glory when he jumped over the cage and decided to fly at Dylan Dennis like a fucking eagle. With the eagle kick, dog, like Liu Kang. Just, you know what I'm saying? I'm surprised no fire was coming off of his ass when he kicked Dylan Dennis right there. Pause. But yeah, so with that being said, though, we already played this song, so I wanted to play this before we talked about this topic, man. Nate Diaz, Dustin Poirier. We got a little bit of a back and forth here, man. We got a little bit of details coming out after the fight was canceled. We're hearing a little bit more about Poirier's injury, and Nate Diaz is taking some shots. So after we talk about this, we might actually have to run that, hit him up back. Dustin Poirier says nagging hip injury forced him out of UFC 230 bout with Nate Diaz. Now, that's a nagging hip injury. That's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Poirier's never pulled out of a fight. A nagging hip injury, you know, on first sound, that sounds like, it doesn't sound too serious, you know, like, but at the same time, if it's something you've been dealing with for a while, you know, he says, this is something I've been dealing with for the last few camps, and it just progressively got worse. And then I did something with it this camp where, you know, like I can still move around on it. I can still train, but if, say, I do a sprint, the next 2 days, my range of motion is going to be horrible, and I'm going to be in a lot of pain. It just got too bad to keep pushing at this point with it. And he says, of course, every fighter, whether they admit it or not, they have aches and pains, and they go into fights hurt. If you're training for a fight, you're going to be pretty much, there's always going to be days where you're hurting. Normal pain is no problem. That just comes with the job. But this actually got to the point to where it was stopping me from doing the kind of training sessions I needed to be doing. And like I said, range of motion, internal rotation, a lot of stuff was just really, really bothering me. And it's time to get something done about it. No, it's not. I'm sorry, guys. No, it's not. Motherfucker, wait one more fight. Damn it. Don't do no sprints until the fight. Don't do no sprints for a week before you fight Diaz. Get this shit done right after, dog. This is not the time. We wanted to see this fight, Poirier versus Diaz. This is not the time. No, but he says 1 week we got the doctor's opinion. The next week I'm flying out to LA to get another scan and another opinion. If the second doctor agrees with the first, I think it'll be a pretty quick return. We're just going to do some stem cell stuff, and I think I'll be moving around real quick. So I don't think I'll be out long at all. So he's looking to be back sooner rather than later. But god damn it, why right now, bro? Never pulls out of fights, ever. And now the damn nagging injury is just, darn it. And it's going to be a quick recovery. Why do we have to have a fucking speed bump right before the Nate Diaz fight? Nate Diaz ain't fought in 2 motherfucking years. Playing with our emotions as MMA fans. And here we fucking are. The speed bump from Poirier, and we miss out on Diaz fighting. Fuck me, man. Some bullshit. But with that being, and pause, by the way. With that being said, though, Nate Diaz, he's speaking on this injury in proper warrior fashion. Nate Diaz, gangster thug lifestyle fashion. If you can't make it to war, you lose the war. You ain't about this life. I don't know why I feel like I gotta do that after a Nate Diaz tweet. If you can't make it to war, you lose the war. You ain't about this life. Fucking gangster lean on you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? You ain't about this life, dude. You couldn't even make it through your nagging injury, dude. The fuck? By the way, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys when Khabib comes back. Deuces. Meanwhile, Khabib's got a fucking 6 to 12 month suspension. I'm glad Dustin Poirier responded, though. Fuck that. I'm Team Diamond. Anyone knows about losing war, it's you. You've lost half of them that you've been in. Let's go, Dustin. That's what I'm talking about, dog. You know what I'm saying? Little hip injury. How about this, Diaz? I'll be right back in 1 month. You still want to fight? I bet you don't. I bet you fucking don't. I bet you don't want to rebook this fight. If I'm Dustin, I say, I bet you don't, bro. I'll be right back. It's a fucking hip injury. Matter of fact, Dana, rebook this shit. I'm about to kick his ass with a bad hip. He's on here talking shit. I was trying to give him a pass. But now, you know what? Put me back in the game, coach. That's where fucking Dustin Poirier is right now. You gonna talk shit, dog, and we know good goddamn well you ain't gonna accept no rematch. You ain't gonna reschedule the fight. And by the way, you ain't staying on the card. McGregor, he stayed on. Fought Mendez. Completely different style. Short notice. Khabib, he stayed on. Holloway. Oh, Holloway's out. Iaquinta. No problem. Stayed on the card. Talking about going to war. Real soldiers, you can... What the fuck are we talking about going to war for, dog? Are you even a veteran? You even a veteran? Come on, man. My uncle probably wouldn't appreciate that shit. Come on, dog. I'm just saying. I ain't with that shit, dog. It is what it is, though. Nate Diaz is one of the bigger names. Maybe he'll come back when Khabib comes back, but I don't get that because it's not like you're fucking fighting Khabib when he comes back. I'll come back when Khabib comes back. What? Khabib's coming back against Ferguson. What? And if he doesn't, it might be McGregor. Why are you gonna wait for Why are you gonna wait for Khabib? He's not fighting you. You know what I'm saying? That's like Jon Jones saying, I'll come back when Demetrius Johnson comes back. Why? He's not fighting you. You know? Like, so, or, I mean, you can use a flyweight. You know, you get the point. But with that being said, also, Dustin Poirier, since Nate Diaz is talking shit, and he's not staying on the card, and he's not going to rebook the rematch, Dustin Poirier spoke with Luke Thomas, and Luke Thomas is sharing this. He's saying, don't lose sight of this. Poirier says the UFC offered him and Diaz a main event non-title fight at 155, and Diaz declined. That's another thing, by the way. Diaz has been making shit hard. He already threatened to pull out of this fight twice. Didn't want to fight at 155 for the non-title. He would have fought at 165 for a title. Whole lot of madness. It was already... Nate Diaz is what you call hard to work with. Or what's the term that they use in like the business world? Like, is that it? Hard to work with? He's hard to work with. And maybe it's understandable. Nate Diaz has a chip on his shoulder, right? Came from the streets. Felt like he's been getting fucked over his whole career. And so he's probably got a good point. You know, he's probably... But as a fan that's trying to get shit shaken and watch these fights, and who's getting these emotions played with, get the fuck out of here. I get it. If you come out and say, man, they've been playing my ass for these... Man, my first 10 years as a fighter, bro, they underpaid me. They lied to me about the fucking numbers. They never gave me my just due. Now I finally got the cards. I'm on their ass, man. Fuck these dudes. I'm coming back when Conor's coming back. I'll fight whenever McGregor's ready for the trilogy. Just say that, man. Don't tell me about bike season. Don't fucking tell me you're turning down all the title fights in the world and then book a weird-ass fight with Dustin Poirier and now you don't want to fight someone on short. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. My bad. That's just where I'm at right now as a fan. But with that being said, so this is news to me, though. The UFC offered Diaz and Poirier. They've been scrambling for a UFC 230 main event. Scrambling, you know. They fucking, at one point, we had Sarge Eubanks versus Valentina Shevchenko. We were going to lose Shevchenko versus Jędrzejczyk just because we couldn't get a main event. Now we got Cormier versus Lewis. Both of these motherfuckers beat up coming into this fight. Daniel Cormier's hand's not 100%. Derrick Lewis ain't even off his medical suspension. These motherfuckers are injured and battered, but it's still a good fight. They're both fucked up. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? By the way, Daniel Cormier fighting with the broke damn hand. Derrick Lewis fighting off of medical suspension. Just got his fucking egg scrambled. Still won the fight. What is up with this? Can we get a cortisone shot in this nagging hip injury? There's nothing we can do. All these goddamn legal steroids we put in Derrick Lewis's back in the fucking... All this shit. There's no shot for this goddamn fight. I see motherfuckers on the NFL look like they get their fucking legs snapped off, come back in the game after a cortisone shot, a visit to the locker room, take that shit up, get in the game. We ain't got no damn shot for this nagging hip injury. It's just one where if I sprint, like, we ain't got nothing, doctors. Get the fuck out of here. But, now, there's something to be said about fighting in a 5-round fight, and there's no compensation. But I'm sure the UFC had, you know, like, they're compensating Daniel Cormier pretty nicely to save this card. You don't think they would have fucking gave Nate Diaz an extra fucking $200,000, bro? Alright, I get it. You want to fight for a 165 title because now all of a sudden you want a title even though we fucking offered you 155. We offered you 170. You admitted we offered you a title fight in every weight class and you turned it down. But now all of a sudden you won't fight in the main event unless it's for a motherfucking title. Didn't want a fucking title anytime before. Now it's title or bust. Difficult. It's being fucking difficult. You could have fought Ferguson. You could have fought Khabib. You could have fought Woodley. You could have fought half the motherfuckers calling you out nicely. You could have fought the motherfuckers calling you out incorrect, calling you out your name. You could have took an easy fight. You could have took a title fight. And now we won't main event unless it's for a title. And I'm sure the UFC would have compensated them, you guys. You think they're not paying Daniel Cormier nicely to save this card? They could have fucking gave these guys a little bump to fight in the main event. And Diaz, according to Poirier, he declined that main event slot. So it's really madness, man. But also it says Poirier pulls back the curtain on what went on behind the scenes with Nate Diaz ahead of UFC 230. I'm not even sure this fight would have went through with this guy. It turned into a huge headache. And it was. That's a good word. A headache, being difficult, hard to work with. That's what it is booking a fight with Nate Diaz at this point. Good fucking luck. And that's why Dana White, he said he don't even fucking he said I don't deal with them anymore. He said we got guys that they believe in the Diaz brothers, they're gonna deal with them. You gotta just, that shit's a headache. They done made Dana White have way too many fucking migraines by now. You know what I'm saying? Trying to deal with the Diaz brothers, it seems a little hard. Like Nick Diaz, right? This is another thing, just while we're on the Diaz brothers subject. We all signed the petition, so we all got a fucking right to speak up on this subject. We all signed that motherfucking petition. But how many signatures? Nick Diaz got suspended for 5 years. For fucking weed. 5 years. Taking away his how he makes a living, his livelihood. For marijuana. Of course I'm signing that petition, dude. Fuck it, man. Free Nick Diaz. I'm signing that. Now, it worked, guys. We all got to celebrate. Yes! Nick's back! Hashtag motherfucking free Nick. It worked. I knew we had a little bit of power as fans. So, we got Nick free. We busted him out of that motherfucking USADA prison suspension. My nigga still ain't fought since then. Bro, he's voluntarily serving this 5-year suspension. He's voluntarily serving this 5-year suspension. When did we sign that goddamn petition? I think his 5-year suspension is coming up. And he still ain't fought in about 5 years. So what the fuck was all of that for? So it is what it is, man. Hopefully, eventually, one of these days, the Diaz brothers will come back. Like I said, that'd be a good fight for McGregor. I don't want to see the Khabib rematch immediately. You need to fight Aldo or Diaz. And maybe that can happen now. Who knows? But a couple more things to talk about before we get on this panel, you guys. Daniel Cormier admitting, we got Daniel Cormier. He's talking about UFC 230. You know what that means. You know what that means. Some of you know what that means. Yeah. The fat devil. The rap devil. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gonna beat me? And Volkov just put this guy on his back. I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Chips. You know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you want to scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black. I know you're a beast. I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me because he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, ho. And it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up. Because that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier. I'm coming to defend my title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. Alright, family. With that being said, great way to get into this next topic. Daniel Cormier admitting that he's injured. His hand is not 100% heading into UFC 230, his title defense against Derrick Lewis. And now he said this, and that's why he wasn't going to be coming back soon. That's what people said. How is he fighting Derrick Lewis? This motherfucker just said his hand was broke or something like that. So he's like, yeah, but this is the thing, you guys. This is a very winnable fight. and the UFC is going to pay him very well, you could imagine. He said, man, I always wanted to compete, but I was hurt, and I kind of just set my sights on waiting for Brock. Then the UFC called me and asked me. That's generally how it goes, but this time they said, can you fight in a few weeks? And I was like, well, honestly, I'm not ready to fight right now, but I could see where I stand. I could see if there's any chance that I could get in a fight. And they said, Derrick Lewis. I said, okay, let me go see if my hand will hold up when I punch something. If it does, then yeah, I'll go fight. And he said, it's good enough to fight. It's not 100%. I'm going to be honest. My fist is closing, but not all the way. It feels like now I have, like a badly jammed finger. Like it feels like my finger's just jammed really badly right now. You ever had like a jammed finger and you just can't really pop it? It just kind of sticks up a little bit more than the other finger. That's kind of where my hand is right now. So my pointer finger doesn't close completely. Like I can't make a closed tight fist, but it just feels like if I could pop it, I would be okay. The problem is I'm just too afraid to pop it. It hurts. Like I'm not popping it. It's kind of hoping that sparring, if I punch someone, that it pops and goes back to normal. He said I can do a lot of things from sparring. I'm just not hitting as hard with my right hand. I can wrestle. I'm just trying to be very careful. I'm kind of working around it because if something's going to happen, I prefer it to happen in the fight than in the training room because of how horrible it would be if I take this fight 3 weeks into the fight and then I have to pull out a week later. I'm telling you, I'm going hard though. I'm hitting dudes. I'm punching dudes, trying to get ready to fight. I'm not going to cheat myself. I'm going to this fight with Derrick. I have to be very prepared. The guy is big. He's strong. Tough guy who's there to win the fight. So I have to be prepared to do everything in there. So yeah, he's got a little bit of an injury coming into this fight. But it's still a very winnable fight. Like I said, well, like UFC Yankovic said, how the fuck he gonna beat me? And Volkov just put this guy on his back. I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. You can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Champs. No, you cannot beat me. So yeah, I mean he'll probably be able to put Derrick Lewis on his back. Daniel Cormier is one of the best wrestlers in the heavyweight division, and yeah, did I say Derrick Lewis? Daniel Cormier is one of the best wrestlers in the heavyweight division. He's going against he's going against Derrick Lewis, who is also damaged coming into this fight. So yeah, DC's hand's not 100%, but Derrick Lewis's body's not 100%. He literally just got out of a scrap, and it's not a one-sided scrap. It ain't like he just knocked fucking Volkov out in the first round and came out healthy. No, he almost lost that fight. He was getting banged on, almost finished in that fight. So that's why he's not even medically cleared. So DC still got a good chance to win this fight, and I believe the odds opened up at, I think these are crazy, like fucking minus 800 for Daniel Cormier. Like, what the fuck? Like, they don't give Derrick Lewis much of a chance at all. But you never count Derrick Lewis out. That's one thing we do know. You know what I'm saying? Third round, whenever. He's always dangerous. Got that clutch gene. So, with that being said, DC's also moving on from, talking about his injury. He's explaining why there's cause for concern for a Team McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov rematch. He said, I thought Khabib fought beautifully. I thought he implemented the game plan he wanted to implement, fought the way that he wanted to fight, and did exactly what he needed to do. I thought he fought beautifully. But honestly, man, that first takedown, I was like, wow, he really made Khabib work for that takedown, because this is what we say at AKA. We try to get you lost in the sauce. We want you to get lost in the sauce, right? Like, when we're on a leg, we want to give you one takedown attempt. Okay, you'll defend. 2, you'll defend. 3, you'll start going, okay, wait a minute. Then you start to get lost. You get lost in all the different transitions from move to move, and eventually we get you down. And once we get you down, obviously it's very difficult to get back up. McGregor didn't get lost in it. Like, Khabib had to go to level 4 and get that first takedown. He went high crotch, he went crack down, he went to try and get the angle, he tried to run the pipe. He actually had to go to his knees, look across the back to get to a double just to get Conor down the first time. Conor didn't get lost. He did a really good job, and that's why if you're Team McGregor, there's cause for concern, because I don't know if he could do that any better, and he still got beat the way that he got beat. That's why I think if you're Team McGregor, you'd be concerned with the fight with Khabib, because I don't think he could defend any better. I disagree with that. Actually, Daniel Cormier's low-key pointing out reasons McGregor has a better chance in the rematch for me if he takes some time off. And not time off, but time to get some, a couple tune-up fights, fight Aldo, fight Diaz, and of course they're not tune-up fights, but if you're going to beat McGregor, or if you're going to beat Khabib, you're going to need to be able to beat those guys. So maybe fight those guys, and then take everything that DC's telling you about right now that he saw, as far as not getting lost in Khabib's takedowns, and who knows, maybe we see McGregor The third round of McGregor, all fight. Maybe Khabib can't get that takedown, you know? So, I mean, then that's cause for concern for fucking Team Khabib as well. But he said he did a good job. I don't know if he could do it any better because then Khabib is going to go to level 5 and he's going to go to level 6 and he's just going to keep putting different things behind each other until eventually you kind of just can't keep up. That's what Henry Cejudo does. That's what that's what he did to DJ a couple of times to get those takedowns. And you know who did it really good was Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana shoots a double leg on Carla Esparza, knowing Carla's going to defend it. She knew, like, there's no way I'm just going to take this girl down. She's been wrestling too long. She shot a double leg. Not for that first shot. She shot that double leg to get Carla to defend, drop her hands. And when Carla dropped her hands, arm drag. Now Carla's on the bottom. The first shot was never the intent. That's why my takedown offense is like 45%. I don't care. I'm just throwing shots at you until eventually I grab one of them. I'm just throwing different things at you until I get the reaction I want. Then I can go to my true finish. So he's breaking down a little bit about, you know, Khabib's, or AKA's wrestling change and then the different looks that Khabib was throwing at McGregor and saying McGregor actually did pretty well in defending them. But he's saying I mean, that's the best that I thought he was going to be able to do. So if he did his best, man, he's not going to be able to beat him in the rematch. And I hear what he's saying there, but maybe with time, maybe with time. So a couple more things to talk about. We actually got some big news, the very last topic, right after this one. Here we got Stephen Thompson believing Darren Till wasn't even trying to make this weight. Darren Till missed weight ahead of his title fight with Tyron Woodley, but then he made the weight, you know what I'm saying? And now, since then, though, with that being said, Darren Till has announced that his plans to move up to middleweight. And so I don't know about him not ever trying to make the weight. Also, even when he fought Stephen Thompson, there's a video out there of Stephen Thompson, or of Darren Till cutting weight, and he looked like he was going through it. He was going through it in that weight cut when he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So he was definitely trying to make the weight. But this is what Stephen Wonderboy Thompson had to say. The Till fight was tough, man. Traveling all that way to Liverpool, I was fighting in this guy's hometown. I think it was ranked number 9 at the time. I was ranked 1 or 2 or something like that going out there. It's just rough, the fact, you know, going all the way. He said the guy had an hour to get the weight off. Comes back even heavier. So it's like, man, you know, he's not even trying to make this weight. It is what it is. We went out there and did it, man. I went out there to fight, had a lot of people supporting me, and actually got the tickets to fly there. People from my hometown, so there's no way I was going to turn it down. So he's just saying he came back heavier, and he maybe didn't try to make weight on the second attempt or whatever, but Darren Till, you know, he got a lot of heat for missing weight before his Woodley fight because it wasn't his first time having trouble, you know, in a fight. But with that being said, he came back, made weight in the title fight, and since then, now he's going up to 185, which I'm happy about because I want to see Till versus Adesanya. I think that's the fight to make. Holy shit. Adesanya, of course, has a fight coming up against Derek Brunson, but that would be, like, ideal matchmaking for me. I think that would be super fucking fun. Till versus Adesanya. They're a lot closer in size than you might think. Till's a bigger welterweight. Adesanya's a smaller middleweight. I think he weighed in at like 183 for one of his fights or some shit. So, yeah, man. He's on the way up, man. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, as for what's next for him, I believe he'll be fighting Robbie Lawler early 2019. I think that's the word on the streets. So we'll see what's going on there. Now, here's some big fucking news. And first time Bellator's pissed me off in a long time. Eddie Alvarez officially signing with one championship. Looks like we're not going to get to see Alvarez versus Chandler, the trilogy, a fight we all wanted to see again. But Eddie Alvarez, he's looking to make the best, you know, career decision, the best career move, and it looks like he got an offer he couldn't refuse from one championship. He's officially signed with one. There's been talks that one wanted to sign Eddie Alvarez. They got like an Asian expansion. I don't know if it's Japan somewhere, but they got a big expansion, and they're looking for Eddie Alvarez to potentially be the face of their promotion, one of the faces. Now, these are the one, if you're not familiar with one, they also had Ben Askren, 18-0, one of the best welterweights in the world that's not fought for the UFC. So they've had some talented fighters, but I believe Ben Askren has since retired. But there's also, I believe, maybe an atomweight. I don't know. They got some chick fighter over there that's pretty big over there as well, I believe. One. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but Eddie Alvarez right here on social media. He says, please join me in welcoming Eddie Alvarez. Super excited. Our fans will witness Eddie's high-octane, explosive dynamite KO style. Stay tuned for more big news. Oh, shit, son.
Hey, guys. The moment of truth has arrived. I know you heard the rumors, and they are true. We got our official contract from ONE FC, and we're all signed up. I want to thank Lloyd Pearson, my agent at Ballinger Group. You did an amazing job. Couldn't have did any better, to be honest with you. I want to thank Matt Hume for bringing all the parties together. Calling me, calling Lloyd, being patient with us, taking our time with this and making sure, we were happy with everything that went on. And I want to thank Chatri and all the people at ONE FC. Super professional. This couldn't have went any smoother. Didn't take too long. Everybody's happy, and I'm super excited. The Underground King is coming to ONE FC. And in preparation, I left that shelf there empty. You guys know what that's for.
Oh, shit.
Get ready.
You guys know what that's for. He's coming for that ONE FC belt. Get ready. Not going to lie, low-key, I just got pumped up to see Eddie Alvarez's ONE FC fight in that promo, or in that announcement. So, yeah, man, he's going to ONE FC. Bellator, UFC, either way, I figured either one of them would re-sign Eddie Alvarez. I figured it was one of them. There was one point where Michael Chandler and Eddie Alvarez were free agents damn near at the same time, and I was just fucking sure where one goes, the other will go, because that's a fight that we all wanted to see. And, even one championship, what if they could have got fucking Chandler and Alvarez? No matter where that fight would have went, I think everybody would have been watching it that night. Whatever promotion, it could have been fucking Golden Boy, MMA, ONE FC. If any of them got Alvarez versus Chandler, we would have been watching that fight. So they're separate, which is unfortunate because they were free agents at the same time. Michael Chandler re-signed with Bellator, and Eddie Alvarez signed with ONE FC. So I don't know who else they got as far as matchmaking for Eddie Alvarez, but hey, I'll probably be, checking for Eddie over in ONE FC. So with that being said, it's about time for the panel, full-time family. Get you guys on here. We can talk some MMA. Pull up the chat real quick. In the meantime, in between time, one time for the one time, two times for the two times. Let me pull up this Google Hangout. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gon' beat me and Volkov? Just put this guy on his back. I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Chips. You know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you wanna scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black, I know you're a beast. I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me cause he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, hope. And it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up, cause that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier. I'm coming to defend my title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. What's going on, full-time family? Alright, there's the link in the chat. We'll probably go for about 30 minutes to an hour on the Google Hangouts. If anybody wants to hop in and talk some MMA, what's been going on. Get the full-time family in here. Of course, this will probably be on the Helwani Show next week. Interested to hear if Bellator made an official offer. Yeah, man. It'll be interesting. I'm sure they did. One probably threw the bank at him, you know what I'm saying, if they wanted to be the promotion. But still, Bellator, they've been paying guys out. I said that would have been a fucking great place for Alvarez. One had to have made him a crazy offer, I would assume. Watch the most recent JRE MMA podcast. That's given sure name. He was on it. He's a fucking killer. Rafael Lovato Jr. Rafael Lovato Jr., yeah, he's like 8-0, right? He's been submitting fucking everybody. He's a beast. Yeah, he just submitted. I've been keeping up with him in Bellator. He could potentially challenge McGregor Rematch for a title eventually soon. You know what I'm saying? So there's the link. Anybody wants to hop in, do the Google Hangout. Thug Dizzle, man, talk some MMA. I'll put it one more time in the chat. Fat Ninja Flip says he be getting smashed and coming back low key. I know, man. He does. Like he's like kind of like Brian Ortega, got that clutch gene. Kevin Cerrone says he trained Jeet Kune Do since childhood, so he's well rounded. Forward says Alvarez going for another promotion world championship, can't knock it. Yes, sir. Aaron Pico is a more interesting prospect for the UFC roster that's in Bellator, says One Way. Yeah, Aaron Pico, he's a beast, man. I'm going YouTube, says Cam Murphy. Aaron Pico is a more interesting prospect for the UFC roster that's in. Here we go. We got, it looks like Forward in the building. Uh-oh, Forward just left the call. Uh-oh, somebody's back. Cam Murphy in the building. What's going on, Cam? Stam and Cam. Looks like they'll be hopping on the panel if Stamina hops on. Looks like Cam's on here now.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching
Take
Full
that
Time.
intro off. Alright, guys. Forward seems to be in the building. His mic is muted. Cam is in here. I'm hearing something.
I don't know what's wrong with mine.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you now. Uh-oh. Now I think Cam dropped out. And that might be another the issue we were having in the past, where some people drop out on these hangouts and have to keep rejoining. That'd be some craziness. But it says Forward's in here. We might be having some technical difficulties. I haven't heard Forward say anything yet. Fabian Edwards has signed to Bellator, says Third Eye First. For some reason it's muted, says Forward. Yo, Jordan says Lewis had this. Uh-oh, I'm hearing. Third Eye First. I'm hearing something now. I'm hearing the echo. For some reason. We got Stamina in the building. Says Forward. I hear Forward, but it's just playing an echo from the stream. We're not hearing Forward talk. Whenever he unmutes his mic, he's just hearing. We're just hearing the echo.
Come on, man.
Make a new hangout full time, says Forward. Alright, let me try that real fast, guys. I'm going to try and make a new hangout. Maybe this is bugging. Alright. Making a new hangout. Boom. Copy link. Let me fix the hangout right here. Alright, I'm putting the link in the chat now for the new hangout. There's the link. For the new Google Hangout. Hopefully this one works. Having a little bit of technical difficulties over here with the Google Hangouts, you guys. But we're all good. In the meantime, let's pull up the chat. Third Eye Force says Easy Money Tour. One Way says Aaron Pico more interesting prospect for UFC than Bellator. Alright. Now I'm hearing some dogs. What's going on, Giving Sure Name? Giving Sure Name Forward in the building. Stamina back in the building. What's going on? What's going on?
Y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Fulton on his hangout, so.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
What? You guys can't hear me?
I think the stream can hear us, so I might just mute myself until we can actually. No, your dog's loud.
I hear you guys. So you guys can probably hear me. That's crazy. We're definitely having some technical difficulties. Alright. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, apparently you can hear us, but we can't hear him on the hangout.
Yeah, interesting.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Can you hear me, Cam?
Okay, now it's gone again. Right.
Nope. Oh, shit. I don't know what's going on, guys.
Yeah, we still can't hear you full time.
God damn it.
Awkward.
I can hear you. I can hear you Stamina, but I can hear you Forward, but I can't hear Full Time at all.
Alright.
Madness. Twilight Zone.
I'll try to hang out, I guess.
Okay.
You guys can't hear me?
This is not happening. Don't look like it's happening.
Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Mother fuck. Alright, guys. We'll try this one more time. One more time, we'll try this. Copy the link. Put it over here. YouTube hates us, guys. It's all good, though. We'll make this work. We'll figure this out. Alright, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? We'll make this work. We'll figure this out. Can you guys hear me? Uh-oh, guys. I don't think they can hear me on the Google Hangout again.
Yeah, we still can't hear you full time.
Well, god darn it. Alright, guys. Well,
uh-oh,
guys. So much,
Yep, we still can't hear you. But I assume the stream can hear us on the Hangout.
yeah, well, I mean, if you guys just want to talk some MMA, I guess I can leave it live.
If I unmute my own mic, then I can hear.
Can you hear me, though? Let me try. If you guys just want to talk some MMA, I guess I can leave it live. Let's see.
Now that I have you unmuted, or myself unmuted, I can actually hear you.
Okay, so you can hear me on the Hangout?
Try unmuting yourself and then just listen and see if you can hear full time.
Can you hear me on the Hangout, though?
Say something full time.
I'm talking. Hello.
No, I can't hear anything if you're still talking.
Yeah, I'm still talking, guys.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I can't hear full time.
Yeah, we gotta move to Skype, guys. That's where it's at, man.
I'm seeing their lips moving, but no sound.
Oh, alright, guys. Well, this is some baby back, bagel biting bullshit.
I can hear you.
There he goes.
What? You hear me? You hear me?
There he goes.
Oh yeah.
Now we go again.
Wait, you can hear me? Can you hear me? What? Wait, what? Hello?
Yeah, he's gone.
God dang it. Alright, well, this is awkward. No, not awkward, but it's just unfortunate. But so guys, well, I guess, I'm not sure. I guess we'll try and have this fixed by tomorrow. I guess we'll try to have it fixed by tomorrow.
Nope. I'm basically
technical difficulties for the loss. I'm talking. They can't hear me. We'll try. Uh-oh. I think you're hearing me probably on somebody's
echo. I think
echo.
you're hearing it through my computer, actually. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hearing me on the echo.
I was hearing the button, and then he'd talk, and then the button would press, and he'd go off, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Alright, guys, well,
I hear if he was still going on the stream.
They can't hear me on the Google Hangout right now if you're still watching on the stream, unfortunately, so we won't be able to, it looks like, have the panel today. Yeah, but we'll try and have it fixed, though. We'll try and have it fixed sooner rather than later. I don't know what this would be. It seems like it's a Google Hangout thing.
Moving audio tonight, boy. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so unfortunate. So yeah, if you guys just want to go back to, I guess this is what I'll do. I'll shut this Google Hangout down, and then I guess we will just try and have it fixed by tomorrow and do another panel, because I'm not sure. This is a Google Hangout thing. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on, but I have recently been trying to plug a new mic into my computer, so maybe it has something to do with that. Oh, wait. Where's settings? I just thought about something. Aha. Watch this. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now.
Like,
Yeah,
in,
we can
in,
hear you
in and
now.
out, but yeah.
Okay. I might have to turn it up. Okay, maybe I have to turn the sound up. I think
Yeah, I can hear you perfect now.
All right, well, let's motherfucking go. Computer wizard over here, man. I'm telling y'all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Let me not jinx it. All right, turn it up. All right, we're good. We're good.
If only that was the solution to every problem. Just fucking turn it out, right?
No. Yeah, no, I had to switch. I've been messing with my microphone, so I guess it had a different microphone registered, but none of my actual microphones work on my new computer, so I had to change that. I had to go back to this one. So, all right, guys, we're here. We're fucking here. We made it, full-time family. With that being said, let me see if I can fix up this YouTube stream now. Okay, yeah, we'll try to do it like this, cause, so with that being said, we're here. They can hear me. Everyone can hear the stream. What's going on, everybody? Stamina MC Cam is my boy. Giving sure name still in the building and forward. What's going on, everybody?
Yo,
What's up? What's up?
Not much, man. Just finally got this stuff fixed out. So with that being said, man, let's get right into it. We'll start with you, forward. What's something that's on your mind going on in these MMA streets?
Right back.
Right. So with the GOAT himself returning, Jon Jones, what do you guys think of the fight? What do you guys think of the fact that Jones, even his manager came out recently talking about how he didn't take the first fight serious, right? So what do you guys think about Gustafsson's chances of maybe pulling off an upset?
I think if Jon Jones looks like he did against OSP, he loses the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't know how Jon Jones is going to look. Coming off of another layoff, shit, he could be clean for all we know. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's going on with that situation. But to be fair, we've only seen Jon Jones fight one time after USADA, and that was against Ovin St. Preux. So I think Gus has a good chance in the fight. I mean, I give the edge to Jon Jones, but I don't think unless Jon Jones comes out here and looks like prime Jon Jones or vintage Jon Jones, I think he has a really tough fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, how I think about it, right, is we've seen him working on his boxing, and hope he doesn't get too stuck in his head with the boxing, because that's definitely where Gustafsson has his the advantage, certainly in the stand-up. Well, I feel like if we see a Jon Jones where, like we saw him against Cormier, or even in his fights other than against OSP, then I feel like I wouldn't see him having much difficulty. I feel like he will be able to get the takedown once he actually goes for it. And I think once you see him get fired to the ground, I mean, I can hear myself in the background a little bit. It's kind of a
yeah, it might be Cam. It might be Cam. You might have a little echo.
No, it's
Cam.
not me this time. It's not me
Okay,
this time. I turned around to me proper
Giving
speaker.
sure name and Stamina. They both have their
After-
mics muted. See, I don't know. Yeah, I don't see where it's coming off of. Is it me? I don't think so.
But I got off you full time, and then that's how I pressed onto mute, and it went normal. So,
is Arpit on here somewhere?
No, I'm not sure where that's coming from, but yeah, everyone else is muted aside from me, Cam, and forward.
But anyways, yeah, just to finish my point, I mean, it's still bearable. Yeah, I do see Jon Jones getting it, and I actually think I see him finishing this fight, just because I feel like with the last fight we saw with Gustafsson, and even in the DC fight, he does tire later on in the fights, and that's where he really lost both of those championship fights. He lost them in the championship round, so I feel like I can see Jones getting a late finish, and it's going to set up 2019 really nicely with obviously DC fighting Brock if he gets through Lewis, and potentially it's going to be a late show that maybe the end of April, end of May. We're going to see maybe the trilogy. So it's going to be interesting to see.
To me, that's just such a hard fight to even say much about, like how it's going to go down. Since Gustafsson's been away for longer than Jones, so both of them are basically like, we don't really know what we're going to get out of them. Like maybe Gustafsson, realizes what it's going to take a little bit more this time, and like comes in even more hardcore, or maybe in the back of his mind he knows that like no matter what he's going to do, Jon Jones is fucking always going to have an answer. Like it's hard to me. There's too many unknowns for me to feel like I have any clue how that one will go.
Are we still echoing you guys? Cam Murphy muted her mic. I'm not hearing it anymore. Wait. Now I just
No,
heard it.
that's not me.
Well, mute your mic for a second, Cam, if you can,
Okay.
or on the Google Hangouts. All right, now. Yeah. Whenever you mute yourself on the Google Hangouts, we don't hear it. So I think it's just, it might just be if you're on your phone, it might just be a phone thing. But whenever whenever you muted your Google Hangouts, we're good now. So I think that's what it has something to do with. Yeah, now it's back.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. It
I'm
just
sorry.
in between your points, if you just mute your Google Hangouts, you'll be good.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Okay. All right. So yeah, salute to MMA Buds. By the way, I'll send out another link if you wanted to hop on the panel. So yeah, with that being said, if you want to continue, you can on your thoughts. You believe it's too hard to call right now, given your name on Jon Jones versus Gus the rematch?
Did you hear me a minute ago when I was talking about like all the unknowns?
Yeah, that's the part I was getting at. I heard you say it was really hard to call because of all the unknowns. So I was going to ask you to finish that thought.
Points, is that what you said? Yeah. I mean that's basically all I had to say.
Okay,
was like they've both been away for so long. I have no idea how Gus is going to look. Plus,
yeah,
we have Jon Jones. Like, was he on anything? I mean, I'm one to lean towards it was some kind of weird fucking incident that had him pop. Like, I don't think he's been a roid guy his whole life. I don't think so. But I know why a lot of people will say that. But if that's the case, then here we have a clean Jon Jones coming in. You know, some people say he didn't look great against OSP, and maybe it's because of USADA and this and that. So, and the fact is, he's only competed a few times with USADA, and so there's a lot to that side of the argument. I'm not trying to say there's not, but I just get the sense that he's just a freak talent, but maybe that's what steroids will do to you. What the fuck do I know?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and yeah, man, he's actually fought twice since USADA. One of them was OSP, and the other was Daniel Cormier, and he failed that drug test. But one thing you did say, and that's why I'm with you, and I don't know how the fuck Jon Jones is going to look when he comes back, but one thing he has going for him is the fact that Gustafsson also hasn't been super active. It's not like Gus has just been out here fucking kicking ass and taking names. He's been a little inactive. So that's one thing that Jon Jones might have going for him. But, I mean, this is a fight where Jon Jones could come in here and lose a decision, I think. Or he could come in here and like Forward says, fuck around and look like vintage Jon Jones and get a finish. What if it was dick pills and Chinese cocaine and just random incidents? You know, maybe them jalapeno chips he shared with Luke Rockhold. Like, it could have just been some random incident, and, you know, and maybe he still is the GOAT. So it's really hard to tell where he's going to be coming into this fight.
Yeah, like, of course, he always basically has that chance of coming in and just knocking him out real quick, or catching him in a quick submission or something. Like, he can finish like nobody else, so it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
What I was wanting to talk about a little bit is just kind of rating the 230 card as a whole. Now that it's all sort of in there, kind of looking at it from top to bottom, I've seen a lot of people kind of shitting on it, and I kind of think it's a pretty fun card. I mean, I'm not even all that into the main event. I think it's gonna be really one-sided, but I think that it's a pretty fun card.
I agree with you, and I'll say that I said that about, like, man, a lot of these cards that bombed, like a UFC 225, like, aside from the CM Punk fight, I thought it was a really fun card. I thought it was stacked all the way from the Fight Pass prelims up to the damn pay-per-view, and it ended up bombing. I think that's what's going on with this card. I think, like, for a hardcore MMA fan, there's a lot of great fights, but as far as the casual fans, this card kind of fell apart. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. We got Kelleher versus Montel Jackson. That's a decent fight. Shane Burgos is returning. But I mean, even higher on the card, there's some bigger fights. But a lot of these fights are definitely more for the hardcore fans down here. Lando Venata versus Matt Favola. Jason Knight versus Jordan Rinaldi. Now, there are some good fights with Derek Brunson and Adesanya. You got David Branch, Jacare, and Rockhold Weidman. But other than those fights in the main event, it's not super stacked. But for hardcore fans, it's a good card.
It's not every fight that's good, but I guess I just don't hear many people even talking about Rockhold Weidman or Jacare or Adesanya. Like, like these should be pretty big names among the hardcore community, anyways. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm even hearing a lot from those.
Yeah, the
channels.
Rockhold Weidman rematch, I feel like, should probably be getting more looks. This is a really good fucking rematch, man. But one of the things is also this card is like probably still like 3 weeks away, so maybe it'll heat up a little more. But we got a little bit of a lull. We don't even have Bellator or UFC next weekend, and then after that we have UFC Monk-Tone. But yeah, so it's a little bit of a lull right now with there. Maybe it's also there's so much going on with all the fucking Khabib madness and all that talk
Sure.
that. So I think the Rockhold Weidman, I think that's a really good fight that's going to really start to pick up a lot of interest because that's a rematch I know a lot of people have been dying to see. So I hear where you're coming from though, for sure. I feel like that one probably should be getting a little more looks. And then the Jacare, I think the Jacare David Branch fight's getting overlooked a little bit too, man. Like the way that fight came about, there's a story there, the whole call outs and David Branch getting the imitation alligator meat and having his whole gym call him out and shit. Like that was a super dope.
Exactly. This dude Jacare was like considered basically unbeatable. What, like maybe 3 years ago? Like, or not unbeatable, but
yeah, up there.
He was. Yeah, he was an absolute. He still is an absolute killer. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fucking really good fight too. And then of course, Jon Jones is back. Let's talk about non-Jones. Fucking Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. He's still undefeated in MMA. Derek Brunson looks to change that at UFC 230. And who knows, man? Win or lose this fight, Darren Till's up here. I want to see that. But what are your thoughts on Derek Brunson versus Israel Adesanya? And I'll ask that to you, Cam Murphy.
Oh, I don't think I'm actually looking forward to that. I think he's a little bit small, but it should be a cracker of a fight, so to say. So yeah, I'm down for Israel. I mean, he's a bit skinny. He's a bit, as Conor says, he's a bit fat and skinny at the same time. But he's a great fighter. So yeah, I'm hoping he decks Derek, to be honest. So I'm with him. I can't wait for that fight. So
he's like,
that's a good ass fight. Though he's skinny.
I don't want to make this joke, man, but I got to. And they're stamina MC. I don't want to make this joke, but he's like Jon Jones without the steroids. No. All right.
Do y'all think that that Brunson is going to try to wrestle?
That's a good
or stand and trade.
I think he'll try and stand. I think this is one of those fights where, I mean, I don't want to say Israel Adesanya is like some fucking master at mental warfare, but these guys do not like each other. I do think Derek Brunson has something to prove, with the trash talk, and he's the veteran. He's fought guys like fucking, Jacare. I believe he even fought Yoel Romero earlier in his career. Derek Brunson, I mean, I'll pull up his resume. He's fought a fucking murderous row of the best UFC middleweights, and he beat a lot of guys. Fucking, he fought Yoel Romero in his third fight in the UFC. Then after that, Lorenz Larkin, Ed Herman, Sam Alvey. Like, he's not getting any easy fights out here. Fought Robert Whittaker, Anderson Silva. That fight he could have even won. He got robbed in that fight, I think it's fair to say. So, Derek Brunson's a beast, man. He knocks a lot of guys out, but I think he's actually going to probably have to mix in his wrestling if he wants to win this fight, because striking is Adesanya's game. That's where he comes from, his background. But he's also got great takedown defense. And so Israel Adesanya, I don't know if he's the level of wrestler to really be able to, like, just control Adesanya. Like, he's shown good takedown defense, so he's probably going to have to keep it standing. So yeah, I actually like Israel Adesanya in this fight. But
I see in the comments they're talking about fat and skinny. You don't kind of get what we're saying. Well, what I'm saying when I say fat and skinny, he's not skinny where like he's a chicken chest, where like basically he's all bones, but he's not fat. Like he's not too stocky and he's not too skinny. So that's fat skinny, to be honest. So I'm just saying
Derek Brunson.
Derek
Brunson was a two-time All-American Division II college wrestler also. So, I mean, he does have the credentials to maybe bust that out.
Does.
It's going to be a huge test for Adesanya, but I feel like he's starting to get to that point where you almost just got to stop doubting him, especially if he can defend all the takedowns against Brunson. Like, I mean, the dude's if he gets taken down, though, he looks pretty terrible on the ground. So
Yeah.
that's my thing.
And and so I mean, yeah, there is something to that. Maybe he does, and people have talked about that with kind of like Justin Gaethje. Like, why doesn't he really use his wrestling? That's not he doesn't really like using it, and he has it to rely on, but he doesn't always use it. And I kind of think that's how it is with Derek Brunson. Like, he has that wrestling and that wrestling background, but he doesn't use it much. He doesn't. I mean, and I guess for a while he was just knocking everybody out in the first round, so he didn't have much of a chance to use it. But I mean. He's not a guy and yeah, I guess that is the case. I'm looking at this, he's pretty much fucking knocks everyone out in the first round or gets knocked out in the first round. So I mean, other than that, he took Yoel Romero down 3 times. He fucking took Anderson Silva down I mean, even though it was back in 2014, taking Yoel Romero down 3 times is pretty insane. I mean, so definitely has some wrestling skills. We'll see if he gets back to him in this fight. It would be smart. I think it would be smart. I like kind of like a Tyron Woodley, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't give the fight. That's probably not what the fans want to see. It probably might result in some boos by the end of it. But if you're trying to put together a game plan just to win this fight and you're not coming in here to, shut up this loudmouth kid, beat him at his own game, I mean, it would be smart. But at the same time, a lot of Derek Brunson's fights, he either knocks guys out in the first round or he's been getting knocked out in the first round. In his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights, all of them have ended in the first round except for one. Like, he's only been out of this first round in 1 fight. So he might mix it up. That would be very wise, but I don't know if he'll do that. I kind of hope he don't. I want to see these guys scrap, but we'll see what happens. And maybe Israel Adesanya, he already has great takedown defense, but once he does get to his back, he doesn't look amazing. But he does have good takedown defense, but might not be enough. Go ahead.
I think if Brunson tries to stand and trade with him, he's done for. Adesanya is so tricky and so experienced on the feet. There's nothing. I mean, Brunson has power, but he's a little bit reckless, and Adesanya will set him up with all kinds of traps. And if he doesn't shoot, he's done for, in my opinion. But that's
Okay, and that's I'm not, because like you said, if he stands with Adesanya could win the fight, and so that's why this is close for me. But yeah, I would say Derek Brunson is more well-rounded. I think that's fair to say. He's more experienced as well, and it's not like Adesanya is a spring chicken. Let's see, Derek Brunson's 34. How old is Adesanya? He's like 28 himself, you know what I'm saying? Because he had a lot of fights before becoming a mixed martial artist. So, yeah, no, actually, man, now that I'm looking at it, we don't get to see a lot of Derek Brunson's wrestling, but it's actually a lot more impressive. I mean, just taking down Yoel Romero 3 times, and then he did take down Silva twice in that fight. He took down Chris Lieben 4 times. I mean, I'm just going down, and that's really, you have to go off his earlier fights because all these fights have been ended in the first round. But I see one way in the comments said Derek Brunson is a knockout artist and could knock out Adesanya. He was getting tagged by that Italian fighter. But yeah, I think Derek Brunson is a little more than a knockout artist. That just so happens to be how a lot of the fights have been ending. He does have some solid wrestling, but we'll see if he's able to use that against Derek Brunson before this fight is over. I think if this fight ends in the first round, it could go either way. So, I mean, yeah, maybe that shit. I'm low-key reconsidering this fight. I mean, because in my mind going into this, I was kind of imagining it standing up, but I don't know. Maybe Derek Brunson takes the smarter approach, you know what I'm saying, and tries to out-wrestle him. But it's still going to be tough because, like I said, Adesanya does have great takedown defense. It's not like he's just a fucking one-dimensional stand-up guy that's going to be exposed, at the first time he fights a wrestler. Like Marvin Vettori, I believe it was, and someone says Marvin Vettori was tagging him up a little bit, but but he also showed some good takedown defense in that fight before he ultimately got taken down. And Marvin Vettori's a fucking young stud too. He's not a scrub. Marvin Vettori's a little underrated out there. He's a prospect. So yeah, I like the fight. It's gonna be a good fight. Adesanya could lose. Derek Brunson's a little more experienced, a little more well-rounded. I mean, I'm not saying Adesanya is a lock by any means, but he's got a good chance to win the fight. PK Boxing and MMA in the building. Go ahead, forward.
I just want to weigh in on this because obviously, Starben is actually my guy. I'm from the same village as I did from Nigeria, or at least where my heritage was. So I'm a big fan. I have a little bit of a bias to him, but as I say, I have a bias to him. I've actually watched a lot of his career. The fact that he has over 70 pro kickboxing fights, and I mean, this guy's striking is on that probably on like the Wonderboy level in terms of like he's just an absolute amazing striker, and he's even shown some good groundwork in his UFC career. He's even shown that he was able to almost submit Brad Tavares in that 5th round if it wasn't for the time running out. So he isn't just a striker; he's actually got more elements to his game. Also, it's good takedown defense against Mark Vettori, and I think that was an interesting fight because Vettori's got a similar build to Brunson, where he's a lot stronger. He's got that sort of wrestling background, and he's shown he's able to take down people. But I feel like with Brunson, I mean, what I've seen in his last few fights against the likes of Whitaker, Hall, Silva, he's a very rush forward kind of. I mean, Salbender puts it good when he says he's a bum, and he calls him Bunsen because he just bum rushes you and he throws wild strikes, and he doesn't look very coordinated in what he's doing. And I just feel like if you come like that against someone like Starbender, I mean, you could very easily see an Aldo McGregor situation where you get knocked out open in 30 seconds. And I feel like he should be smart enough to recognize he should be going for a grappling situation where he's going to be trying to take down Starbender and maybe look for that approach. But I mean, if he goes for the striking approach, I mean, this is someone who's got head kicked by a Jacare and knocked out in the 1st round. So I don't see how he beats Starbender over 3 rounds or even gets a lucky 1st round knockout. I think he's going to have to go for the wrestling and maybe mixing the striking with the wrestling attempts. But otherwise, I really see this being a very easy night for Starbender and probably a night where he really gets his name out there across to hardcore fans and the casual fans as well tuning in.
All right, broke it all the way down. You said you're from the same village. What's that, Lagos? I'm looking at this UFC fighter info. Lagos, Nigeria?
Yeah, it's pronounced Lagos. Yeah.
Lagos. Okay. So, you're not ready to pronounce him the GOAT quite yet, though. He's a beast.
No, yeah, he has a bit of work to do. I mean, he's got a lot of catching up to do in terms of obviously the likes of Bisping, who's been a goal of the middleweight division. But yeah, he's got some work to do. I see stamina.
But I want to say this though. One point, how you said about how he was knocked out, how Brunson was knocked out by Jacare in the 1st round. That's true, but for one thing, nobody saw that. Well, I guess that's funny because he head kicked him in the 1st fight. But in the 2nd fight, though, for one thing, I think it's a little different because in that fight, I think Brunson would have looked to try and I think he wanted to stay standing with Jacare. Now he got caught and knocked out, but Jacare is a bigger threat on the ground. If you take Jacare down, it's a lot more dangerous. So I think you might have a different game plan against Adesanya. But I do hear what you're saying. If you can get knocked out by Jacare, you can for sure get knocked out by Adesanya. But I think maybe a different fight and even a different game plan for Derek Brunson. But yeah, Adesanya's got it. Like I said, I think he's got a good chance to win this fight. But I wouldn't count Derek Brunson all the way out. One wish I would have Brunson as the crazy favorite. Damn. Actually, man, let's pull up the odds. I think Adesanya is a favorite, dog. I don't even know if the odds are up yet. Best fight odds. UFC 230. Oh, they are up. Brunson, damn, Adesanya is almost a 4-1 favorite. 3-1 favorite over Derek Brunson. I mean, Adesanya is the 3-1 favorite. So one way looks like you could be making some money if you can find somewhere to cash in on your bet, man. PK Boxing and MMA says if Israel stands southpaw, Brunson's left hook could be deadly. Yeah, that's a good point too. But Israel Adesanya, he's a very experienced striker, and I think he's probably switched stance. I'm pretty sure he can switch from orthodox to southpaw at will. I'm pretty sure. But that's probably something Forward could speak to more. But yeah, for sure, Brunson, he can knock you out. But also, I think people are asleep on his wrestling background. I really think people are, and if he decides to fight smart instead of fight the fight that everyone expects, because I think a lot of people look at Brunson as a knockout artist. And he's more than that. We just don't get to see it because so many of his fights end in the 1st round. But we'll see, man. I think it's going to be a great fight.
I think that's his dangerous background is he's wrestling. And as you said, most people are underrating it. I think if he stands at Adesanya, yeah, it's going to be he's going to be knocked out maybe. But if he takes him to the ground, it's going to be rough on Israel. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be that easy for him. But I do just give it to him by a head. I just think it's going to be a great fight. But I don't think it's going to be that easy for him, but I'm with him. So yeah, that's just my bit. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's a good breakdown. I'm with you on that one. So with that being said, though, you guys, I think unless you guys have got something else you guys really want to break down, I think we can move to closing thoughts. Is there anything else though? First, anybody wants to break down like any topic you guys really wanted to talk about today that we haven't talked about already? All right, with that.
I mean, now, let me just put it out there because it was going to be my closing thought. It's going to be the whole McGregor thing. And okay, I said it in the chat and I said it as, it's a McGregor character assassination. And okay, I don't mean it maybe that literally, but if everyone listens back to the whole video of him apologizing to Khabib at the end of the 3rd round, he really didn't apologize. If you listen back to it, at least this is what I heard. I heard him say, "Don't kiss us," and by that he's saying that because he was holding on to him, and I mean we all know how the fight was going, right? Don't get me wrong, he was getting his ass beat, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form he was saying, "Oh, it's only business," and he wanted to apologize, especially after his best round in the fight. So I feel like people took that a bit too far and then kind of made more out of it than what it was. But yeah, for me, he wasn't apologizing in that moment.
Forward.
Well, being honest, I
What
didn't hear
what's that,
that. I
Marcel?
didn't hear "Don't kiss me," nothing like that. But on a breakdown on another video, sorry, my throat is very bad. But on another video, when it was broke down to I think 1/400th of a second, you could hear him saying it's the fight business, not it's only business, or him apologizing at all. It didn't sound like he was apologizing at all. He was reacting to him saying to Herb about him grabbing on him and what he was doing to him, and sorry my throat, and him turning around and saying it's the fight business, like as if to say, like, what the fuck are you saying it to Herb for? You're grabbing me by the balls, just get on it and do it. It's the fight business, just get on with it.
I
And
saw that
I
video.
just I just think he took it fucking way too much. And like everybody, oh, he said he's sorry. He wasn't apologizing. I don't think it
So
was
that's some
apologizing,
bullshit.
because if it was an apology, he would have said it was sorry. He wouldn't have fucking, it's only business. Like, what the fuck does that mean anyway? It's only business. What does that mean anyway? So no, in the video I seen, it said it's the fight business, not it's only business, or not what you heard. Sorry, that that's
Did,
just what I heard. So
do you have any thoughts on that, Stamina?
I mean, Cam's explanation sounds more plausible than anything else. I was just more going to ask why it mattered to Forward one way or the other. I mean,
exactly.
whether he apologized or not, so fucking what? I don't know. It seems like a real non-topic to me.
Yeah, that's something I just want to bring up only because I just feel like I heard people saying that, Connor's fake this, he didn't mean that. I'm like, I'm a fan of McGregor, but not to the point where I care too much what people think of him. But at the same time, I feel like you shouldn't have this false narrative out there that he was apologizing or that he didn't mean anything that he said in the pre-fight and all of the build-up to the fight. No, he meant what he said, and he actually went out to go and kill him in the fight.
Exactly. He
And
wasn't
it's all
apologizing
harm, and
for
it's
all that
yeah.
shit he had said in the run up. He
Yeah, no,
wasn't. That's not what I got. That's not
yeah,
what
I
I
got
got
what
anyway.
Cam got actually after I heard it broke down. Like when it came after, like he was complaining to Herb Dean and he was saying something like it's the fight business. That's what I got too. Like he was just saying like, what the fuck are you complaining to the ref for, motherfucker? Like we're fighting. Why are you talking?
Because if you look back, Khabib, I'll call him Habib, had him like literally when he went for his famous one legs. He had his hands like literally had his balls. McGregor wasn't complaining, and
I
then when
saw that
McGregor
on
hit
that
him on the
video.
back of the head, he complained, and Herb wasn't doing shit. So what did he do? He hammer fisted him into the balls. McGregor didn't say shit. So it's like, just get on. You're fucking winning. Get on. What the fuck are you complaining for? And I want to talk to you. Let's talk. Let's talk. What the fuck is all that about? Like,
You see,
to
he was
me, it was
about to
just
talk
total
to Dana
bullshit.
White, and that's right when Conor kneed him in the face. Like,
And
no, you
yeah, it was
ain't.
like that. I loved that. I have to say, I was fucking loving that. I was like, yeah, shut the fuck up, man, and just fight. You're fighting. There's no need to try talk to somebody. You're kicking the shit out of them. I think they understand what the fuck your intentions are. So it's just like, I was like, all right, man, you're doing exactly what you've done to everybody else. Like, I'll talk to you, I'll humble you, I'll do. I just wasn't into that, and I was just, all right, he was cheating. I'm not going to say he wasn't, but it was just like, just get on with it. It's a fucking fight. So
Yeah,
that's all I got out of it.
and maybe this can be my closing thought, but the only other time I can remember Khabib talking to somebody was Michael Johnson, and he wasn't really trying to disrespect him, although it was kind of disrespectful. He was more trying to say, hey, give up. Like, I don't want to hurt you. At least that's what he said, literally. I don't know if it was
No,
intended
he was
as
saying,
disrespect.
give up,
But,
please give up. You know I deserve
right.
title. You know I deserve title. Everybody thinks they deserve the title. I mean, but yeah, that night he was like, just give fucking up, please. I need to win this fight. I need to win this fucking fight. So give the fuck up. So who the fuck does that though? I'm sorry. That's just, I don't know. I just find it a little bit weird you do that. So you're in the fight business and you're begging someone to give up. So I don't know, but whatever. That's just me. So
All right. Well said, Kim. And like I said, I got what you did whenever I went back and I listened to that apology. I think it was about the fouls and stuff. So with that being said, though, guys, thank you guys for coming on the panel. I want to get your closing thoughts. We'll start with forward. Anything going on in MMA? What are your closing thoughts for the day, good sir? And thanks for coming on the panel.
Um, much appreciated. Obviously, good time always coming on the panel. And one fight that's kind of been slept on UFC 2K, which I think is going to be a really big fight. It's going to be really interesting to see how Eubanks gets on against Modafferi. With all the hype that's been around her, she didn't really take it too well. Obviously, getting the fight given to her, and then obviously being taken away with all the interactions on Twitter. But I mean, I feel like it's ultimately been a win for her in this situation. The fact that she's got a bit more publicity, more people are going to be tuning in just to see how her fight goes. Maybe some people want to see her lose, probably like myself a little bit, just because of all the shit she was talking on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, she's got a bit more of a platform now. I mean, she gets the victory. Then all of a sudden, she can legitimately call up the winner of JJ versus Shevchenko in November. So it kind of set her up for a title fight in the future. So she just got to now take advantage of it, put on a dominant performance there, and make a name for herself.
Yeah, man, that's a good point. And she's going to be fighting the UFC 230 against Roxanne Modafferi, who actually took her place in that fight when she got hospitalized due to the weight cut. So maybe she'll be able to come in here, beat her. And Joanna's fighting Valentina, and there's talks of Caitlin Chukagian, but who knows? Maybe she could get a title fight off of this. She has pissed some people off, and one other thing she did was she kind of made a little bit of a threat at the UFC. So we'll see how that plays out for her. But no, yeah, if she gets a big win here, she could be next. But there's other girls in line. But yeah, man. Good thoughts. Anything else you want to say before you get out of here for the closing thoughts? I take that as a no. So giving sure name. What about you, brother?
Well, I just want to, I guess, get your thoughts on Daniel Cormier's hand, and I mean, you may have mentioned this in some of your earlier statements, but do you feel like that even opens any kind of possibility for Lewis, or do you think that Cormier is too experienced, too good, all that kind of stuff, too much head movement?
All that kind of stuff. Yeah, because if Derrick Lewis was 100%, I think that would give Lewis, more of a chance. But shit, Cormier's coming in with a banged up hand, but Lewis is coming in with a banged up everything. So, yeah. But yeah, if he was 100%, I think that would close the gap.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I feel like Cormier might even just be leaking this to make people feel like it's going to be a more even fight. Possibly, because I don't see any other reason for him to even say, like, why is this a talking point going into it?
Yeah, it sells the fight. You got to
yeah.
Like when Conor McGregor recently, like at that press conference, he built up like Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier, like because it was a potential future fight at that point. Like when you don't want to fight someone, you kind of no sell them. But now that he's got to fight, he's got to make people interested. He's got to make people think Derrick Lewis has a chance, or they might not buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah, so interesting tactic there. Thanks for having us on again, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for coming on. And you, Cam Murphy, closing thoughts from you?
I'm looking forward to the DC fight, but I don't think he should be fighting Lewis. But it's going to be a bit of a shit show. But I will watch, obviously. But I'm more looking forward to Valentina and JJ, which is going to be a tough fight for Joanna. So, I'm just looking forward to that. But as I said, it's going to be a bit shit show for Derrick. I can't believe he's actually getting a shot because the last of his fights and with his back as well. It's just kind of, to me, like, really, it's kind of doing a McGregor thing, kind of jumping the line, like,
kind of like Darren too, off missing weight.
So it's like, yeah, whatever. But I'm just gonna watch it. I'm listening to your panel, and I'll see what happens. So wherever, but Lewis, he ain't getting it. Nah, I see DC winning this easy. So me and my sore throat will be listening. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. And Black Beast in this hole. All right, Stamina MC, what you got for us in this hole? Closing thoughts.
One thing I definitely have not got is any hose. My opinion, I think, kind of runs counter to what Forwards was, in that I feel like Sajara's kind of fucked herself in the end with all of this hoo-ha, actually, because the Modafferi pairing is like, it's just not very interesting. Like, we've seen the exhibition match already in Tough. She won quite decisively. Like, a win on her record versus Modafferi will not do anything for her in the rankings, seeing as she's already higher ranked than her. He's not going to do anything for her credibility, seeing as Modafferi is not really a particularly decorated or respected fighter. And yeah, again, we've seen it all before. Modafferi is perhaps a bit more of like a fan favorite amongst the absolute motherfucking diehards, but that's about the only upshot. Like, the eye fight, to me, was way more storied just because of how random it even came about and how much energy there was behind it from both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chukagian was even more interesting than that already because she needs to avenge the loss there. So, of all the things that could have happened to Sijara Eubanks, that was about the worst thing. Roxy will fight fucking anyone. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, so bloody what? So people, that's going to happen now. She's still on 230. As people have said in the chat already, they're probably going to bump her back down to the prelims now. It's just like, what did you actually get? Okay, you got paid, but you could have got paid to fight Jessica Ai anyway, who, for all intents and purposes, is arguably a better fighter. Anyone that says to me that Roxanne Modafferi is a better fighter than Jessica Ai, we need to have a conversation. And it's a short one that involves the words fuck and off. But, like... I don't know, man. Like, to me, I'll watch because I'll be in the house anyway. But Shajara fucked herself. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. That's what I was thinking. You know, it's like with what she said on Twitter. You know, one of those threats. That's what I was thinking. And to what you said, that's one of the points I brought up. Like, you've got now I fighting Chukagian. The winner of that fight could very well get the look at the next title shot over Eubanks, which means she went from damn near having a title fight scheduled to now getting knocked back. And from the looks of it right now, UFC 230, she's on the Fight Pass prelims. Now, they're probably going to move this around a little bit, but not a lot. And so she could be as early as the Fight Pass prelims. So, yeah, man, not going to get a lot of exposure there. No energy in this fight like you pointed out. I mean, Eubanks and I were going back at each other. That's the whole reason that fight got booked. So, yeah, I like what you had to say there, and I agree with you on that. But for my closing thoughts, man, I just want to say, I don't know what the fuck's going on with Khabib, I guess. I mean, his uncle, he's got an uncle talking about he just turned down $15 million for the rematch. And my question is, I mean, and like I said, this uncle might be disconnected, but are you going to, for one, if you actually got that offer for the rematch, take the money. It's easy money. Right now, McGregor doesn't really have a chance against you. And for two, this is what I really wanted to close and say. What the fuck is up with Khabib? And I want a response if someone's still on the panel. What are you guys' thoughts with Khabib and this smacking up the WWE and Floyd Mayweather talk? Because I never looked at Khabib as somebody that was in it for the money, nothing like that. And now he's doing what Conor did.
Total 180 from what it was before he fought McGregor. So it seems to be they all do that anyway. But I can't believe Khabib is even entertaining this bullshit of I'm going to WWE or crap like that. So I don't know. But
thank you. That's what I was wondering. Is there anyone else that's looking at this like a total 180? Am I the only one that didn't see Khabib like in that light? What about you, Stamina? What do you think about Khabib possibly going to the WWE or entertaining a Floyd Mayweather fight?
Man, I'm not going to believe it until I have no choice but to. To me, I call him bullshit.
What happened with McGregor, though, Stam? You have to admit that they were it's never gonna happen, and it happened. So I'm just hoping it doesn't.
Conor's been all about money from the jump. Like, he will do whatever for money. This entire time, he's always been about that. But
he's always said that.
I've got to say this though, real quick, Stamina. You remember Khabib did say when he won the title, he wasn't gonna defend the belt against McGregor first. He said he was gonna humble him and fight like Poirier or Ferguson first, and that was gonna humble Conor McGregor. He wasn't gonna give him the first title shot, but we did see Khabib did ultimately, and maybe it's because the Dolly attack happened. But go ahead, Stamina.
He doesn't get a say in any of that stuff. No one gets a say in that, apart from someone like Conor. Even champions don't get to pick their contenders. They don't get to do that. So as much as he wanted to do that, if UFC say you're doing X, Y, and Z, it's either you do it or you get benched. Like, it doesn't matter what he says about
So do you
that.
think that's the same case about a Mayweather fight? If the UFC says you're doing this Mayweather fight,
I don't see why they would. It's not advantageous to them to do that.
Yeah, I can't see them
Yeah.
allowing.
That's
him to
even
do it.
more of a circus than the Conor thing was. Like the Conor thing, there were many detractors with regard to that, but they were almost silenced on account of the money that was made. You are not going to tell me that the Khabib Mayweather link-up is more lucrative than Conor. No, it's not. So in light of the fact that it's not likely to make as much money, in light of the fact you've achieved a lot of backlash for doing it the first time, to do it twice, the risk to reward ratio is a lot different. I don't think they'll do that because they'll, even Khabib as a human being, not going to do the world press tour, doesn't really have the chat and the trash talk to even counter someone like Floyd. Floyd is not the best spoken person anyway. So put him in front of the one person that you can actually talk down because of a language barrier. That's going to make car crash TV. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, Joe.
Like,
Shit,
I don't want to see that shit.
All right, well, he broke it all the way down. Hopefully there's nothing to it, but yeah, man, it's just kind of, to what Cam said, I just look at it, even the fact that Khabib is entertaining it on social media, I'm kind of like, oh, is Khabib going to Hollywood a little now? What's going on
That was
here?
banter. That was banter. If he's got an offer, as Uncle Alex said, to take 15 mil to fight Conor again, like any other option other than that may or may not make more money, but it's definitely not as easy. Like even just the whole thing of fake fighting. Khabib's not an actor.
Yeah.
You're asking, giving him 15 million to do what he always does and has already done. If he's not going to do that, he still has no reason to take the others.
Yeah, that's why whenever I first heard that, that's kind of what I was saying. I was like, how many angles can you run with Khabib in the WWE? Like, he only smashed a couple guys. I don't see him doing too much acting over there. So, but yeah, so, all right, well, you guys broke it all the way down. Thank you guys for coming on the panel, Stamina. Thank you for coming on, Cam. Forward.
Take it easy.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you guys all in the live chat for coming through. With that being said, we are done for the day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, a little earlier. With that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. We are out.
Peace out.
All right, later, guys.
See?
All right, family. We out. Should we end the show with the song? I think so. Why not? Why not? You know what? Hopefully we win this challenge. It's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. I don't know if we can. $5,000 would really do us a lot of motherfucking good, though, full-time family. So this is what we're going to play to end the show. And maybe it'll inspire you to go to social media and share this with Tyron Woodley and T-Dub-O and Wiz Khalifa. And maybe, just maybe, we can win the $5,000 I'll beat your ass challenge. Yeah.
Best welterweight in the world. Oh God. Look. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat him on God though. Talk slick, move quick like a bato. One hand behind my back with my eyes closed. You can't fuck with me, yeah, I know. Look, I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat him on God though. Talk slick, move quick like a bato. One hand behind my back with my eyes closed. You can't fuck with me, yeah, I know. Look,
I'll beat him like a black belt. If a nigga fuck with me, then he assed out. I'ma sit his ass down, back against the wall, then I max out. If you want smoke, I'm a gas cloud. No time for you class clowns, cause my bitch got her ass out. And she wiggling, wobbling, and she moving, and she shaking it for me. And now these niggas getting mad now. Probably cause they salty and they jealous cause they really ain't been making no money. Hold up. Let me go and switch my flow up. That's why everybody know us. Cause we throw 'em from the shoulders like some motherfucking soldiers. And I thought we fucking told ya. We ain't choose this life, it chose us. We do you like a pipe and smoke ya. Pause. I don't wanna talk, I just wanna break your jaw.
I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll beat him on God though. Talk slick, move quick like a bato. One hand behind my back with my eyes closed. You can't fuck with me, yeah, I know.